Welcome to Jump Scares with John. I am just kidding. This is the Cinema Sound podcast. I am Matthew Walker, one of the superhero and sci-fi experts.
Very funny, Matthew. Very funny. Very funny. I am John Thompson. I am the action movie expert.
I'm Dyllan. I'm the other superhero and sci-fi expert. And, guys, do you think that Paul looks a little bit different today? He looks a little slimmer.
De-aged a bit.
Yeah, no beard or anything.
Nope.
I like the new look. Yeah.
I've got one.
All right, so introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Dylan's brother. I'm Gavin. And among other things, I'm an enthusiast of horror and superhero movies, but primarily I'm a very big theorist. So I nitpick lots of movies and I try to predict things that happen next.
He's the Tin Hat Man.
It's really fun. Yeah, I'm the Tin Hat Man.
Oh, we can say
Exactly, yeah.
Bring him on as a tinfoil hat expert.
Yeah, I'm all fucking for it.
Because Paul has extra microphones he's supposed to wear in Bergen.
Yeah, no, I'm for it. He wants to meet Paul real bad.
Oh, yeah.
But in all seriousness,
I'm down for
welcome
it.
to the podcast, buddy. We're so glad you can join us.
I'm excited.
Yeah, we're in for a very exciting episode, guys. This is the official Spider-Man episode. Oh, boy. Yeah.
There will be. Yeah.
And just to let you know, that is my second favorite comic book character ever. Batman is still number one, but Spider-Man, I love Spider-Man. I love that character. So it's going to be an exciting episode. I can't wait to talk about it.
So to prepare you guys for a warning, me and John were talking already. I think that's a good idea. Let's see what you think. Instead of re-ranking the DCU when Flash comes out, since we just did it,
Yeah.
I feel like, it was John's idea. Top DC movies of all time.
Like,
Mm.
I
Top
feel like
5, top
Animated
10,
movies
top
and all?
Top 25. Including like
Anything
animated.
direct-to-DVD, yeah.
Ooh.
Okay, cool. I'm
Okay,
down with
yeah,
that.
I should say,
Just-
okay,
just
that's a good
my
idea.
list on
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's-
Well,
I rewatched that like 90 times when it
It's
first came.
so
It's
good.
so good. I still rewatch that continuously.
Yeah,
it's
it's-
so good.
well, you pretty much know that Dark Knight of the Batman will pretty be very high on the list. But
Everybody
where,
knows what number one is. Everybody knows
but
what number one is.
but where is the Flash going to be ranked? That's going to be more
Yeah, 'cause I
interesting.
feel like it will hit the top 25.
I will say Joker's not going to be in my top 25.
It's not mine either.
It's not making it on that list.
Well,
You
you
guys know my
you
thoughts.
know my love for Joker. You know I love the film that much.
Yeah, I mean it's fine
So-
for people to enjoy it. I'm not going to shit on you for liking
Yeah.
that movie.
I mean, it's not going to be as bad as my Spider-Man opinion later.
I'm not
I am
excited.
scared. I am scared to spider death. Like literally.
You're
So
going to hate me.
do you have trivia prepared?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you want to do trivia after my quick review?
Yes.
Okay. So since the week that it came out, I was missing. I decided, and I forced this upon everybody last second, to do my quick little. Listen. Listen. Could be worse.
Mutes his
Um,
mic.
I decided that I'm going to do a quick little review of Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves, because the last time that I got to do a review of it, it was spoiler-free. It was 2 weeks before the movie actually came out. So just going back through it really fast, I rewatched it yesterday. It's a fucking great movie. It doesn't matter whether you're super into Dungeons & Dragons or not. It's just great. The comedy is great. The little nods and references that they have, it feels super organic. Honestly, Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daly, John Francis Daly did Homecoming, or he was one of the writers on Homecoming. They all did a great job at adapting. Holga was great. I having read the books and everything that tied into the movie. Edgin was great. I love seeing more of his daughter. I love seeing Forge actually being a neutral evil character, which if you're a D&D nerd, you know what fucking neutral evil is. They put out like stat blocks and everything, so it's official. I do have some theories about what the next movie could be, because honestly, I do think that this could lead to another one. I think they confirmed that there was going to be a second movie, if not more. Then they also said that there was going to be a show. Honestly, if there is more of it, I don't know what they could do for the story, because D&D is one of those things where you just cannot predict it.
Right.
They weren't doing they were using official assets and everything from 5e. However, they weren't adapting like stories that we've gotten, like Curse of Strahd, Rise of Tiamat.
Right, and they've got decades of
Yeah,
things
they
can
have
pull from.
a
Like they
whole
could literally
entire,
go
like-
anywhere with this.
Since
Yeah.
the 70s, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it came out like 74
Yeah, I think
roughly. No, they have decades and decades to pull from. And considering the fact that they're about to go into basically 6th edition, at any point they could retire these stories and just adapt it.
That's almost as old as John, 74.
Right up there with his body count.
Whoa!
No.
He's turning gray.
I think that there's a lot of things that they could do. However, I will say that I've been doing.
I
some
wish you guys
research.
could see my reaction.
I've been doing my research since rewatching it the second time, because people that watch the movie, they're going to recognize that Egan is a bard. He is the bard class. However, anybody that knows Dungeons and Dragons knows that bards can actually cast spells. However, during the movie, we see him during the movie and in the books and everything. We see him just play his lute. He doesn't do anything else. Any kind of attack. It's not a spell attack. It's not a spell attack. He doesn't cast any spells to make a mirage of himself. That's what Simon the Sorcerer is there for. That's what led to the mirage, the minor illusion. However, we do see him cast a spell once. And when he cast a spell once, it was to bring Holga back from the dead. I should have said spoilers. But it's been out for
it's
like
been weeks.
2.5 months.
Yeah, so screw that.
So,
you
listen.
haven't seen it.
Exactly. It's on physical now. It's been on Paramount for a month and a half.
Right.
Like you've had plenty of time to watch the movie. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My allowance is 3 weeks.
Yeah.
No, so we seen him cast a spell once, and it's to bring Holga back from the dead. Which the entire time he had been talking about casting a spell. It was to get the tablet of revivification, I believe. It was so he could get that back. We see him cast a spell once. Now, to my knowledge, in 5e, you cannot cast a spell unless it's from a direct magic item that you can attune to. Which there are items in D&D that you can't attune to because you have to be a specific class, or you have to have like a certain intelligence score or something like that. So for him to have not attuned to the item, or presumably we never see a moment of it, considering the fact that we see Simon attuned to something, it's safe to assume that he didn't attune to this item. We heard him cast a spell and use the item. He cast a fucking spell. He has a spell casting feature as a bard. But in the book, he talks about how he's not able to cast spells. So I'm wondering if they end up doing a continuation of these stories, which they could easily just be done with the characters, reference them in the next movie or something.
Yeah.
They could easily do that. That's the great thing about D&D. You can just wipe the board clean and then still have it keep the spirit.
Right.
I think that they're actually going to have him fully go into spellcasting this next one. Or at least do it by the end where like he like achieves his magical power. Because magical power is something that you can either learn in D&D or it's something that you unlock as you progress.
Right.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
Like there are playing classes where you unlock it at like 3rd level.
Okay.
I don't think that any of the official stat blocks for the characters, which we're assuming that those are the stat blocks that they would have had in the game because that's what they based it on. Prior to filming the movie, they actually did a D&D session to figure out the characters and everything, and figure out the how to work as a team.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm really bummed out. It doesn't look like it's part of the bonus features. on the
I would have
physical
watched
release.
that. Absolutely.
I know. Like, how dare you not put down a 3-hour D&D session between all of them?
I mean, that would have been perfect bonus feature for a movie.
It
Right.
would have been. I'm wondering if they're going to plan on releasing it later, because D&D has an official YouTube, and they do like
Yeah,
streaming
that
events and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They could always do it
Something
at
like
Dragon
that,
Con or
documentary
something.
type special.
Right.
Yeah. I'm fingers crossed because there is footage and pictures of them sitting at the table together.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Critical Role like exploded within the past year or so.
Yeah, no, I mean that's
in
the entire
popularity.
reason why we got to this point with Honor Among Thieves is
Right.
because of Critical Role.
Right. Vox Machina. Yeah.
Vox Machina, Dimension
Yeah.
20, a lot of great gaming channels. You turn around everywhere, it's just Dyson something.
Yeah.
No, I honestly I cannot fucking wait. The daughter from 65 was in it.
Okay.
She did fucking great.
65 was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm going to pick it up on physical. because it was good. I need to give it a second chance. I was just tired after Scream 6.
Yeah.
Like I saw Scream 6 first and then went to 65.
That's what I did.
It was probably a major mistake. It was Honor Among Thieves was just great. Surprise cameo. Bradley Cooper's in it.
Yeah, that's what he said.
He plays a fucking halfling.
Yeah.
Like he is the size of Rocket the Raccoon in this. He plays a fucking halfling. And I had no idea that he was casted in it. And he's one of the funnier parts of the movie.
Okay.
He's actually not like super wisecracking in the movie either. Like he's not his usual character.
Right.
He's actually like really wholesome and everything. I think the biggest joke is just he's a halfling.
Well, yeah, because they even play because the way they do it is he was Holga's ex lover, and when she comes back to I can't remember exactly. It was to try to find out where the helmet is. Right. That's why they went to him.
Yeah. So they were making their way to go find fuckface Zing.
Right. Yeah.
He was. They were going to go find Zink and go talk to the dead. Right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. It was go talk to the dead, and then they pointed in the direction of Zink.
Yeah. Yeah. So they go to him, and they have their little love tension or whatever.
Yeah.
And then his new girlfriend walks in, who's even taller than Holga.
Yeah.
And there's a whole section of jokes where it's like, how does that even work? Like,
Yeah.
like,
Then later they get medals of honor and stuff, and the person that gives Holga medal of honor is another halfling. And she's like, "Oh hey, what's up?
yeah.
You and I are talking after this."
That reminds me of the Harley Quinn show, Dr. Psycho and Giganta.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
Yeah, that's it.
Kind of nailed it. You kind of nailed it.
Only Adult Swim, where you can watch Harley Quinn at midnight if you wanted to.
Yeah. No, Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. It's out in physical now. It's on Paramount Plus. I fully recommend people go see it. You don't have to be in D&D.
Yeah, they handled the material so well that the things you need to know, they seamlessly explain it. But the things you don't actually have to know, but they still have in there for D&D fans, they don't bother about, oh, it's this guy who did this, and they don't explain how spells work, and they don't bother with what past iterations of similar material has done, to where they feel like they have to explain everything to death.
Yeah.
To where they just it's real seamless, and you don't have to know about D&D to really enjoy this movie.
Yeah, it's not full of pandering.
Yeah.
It's not. There's not a shit ton of fan service that gets in the way. You just don't notice it. You hear a reference, the Underdark.
Yep.
Mentor Berezin. You see that. You don't know that's what it is.
Right.
But the fans of D&D will.
Right.
They just don't talk about it. They name drop Mordenkainen. They name drop Waterdeep, Baldur's Gate. Honestly, I'm surprised that we didn't get a Minsk reference. At some point. We might have just missed it. I'm gonna have to go back.
I'll definitely plan on watching it, because when I heard that a lot of people really like this movie, I was really surprised, but in a good way.
Yeah, if you're just a fantasy fan, you'll enjoy it.
Yeah. I'll definitely give this movie a chance. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think my honest review of it would probably be about a 9 out of 10. I could even go as low as an 8 out of 10. Because honestly, I think that for what they set out to do, I think they executed it beautifully. I think that they paid a lot of attention and love to it. Honestly, I hope that they continue this story. I think it'd be great to get more Eggen and Holga and everything. Fuck Forge. I liked him in the books, not so much in the movie. Yeah, I'd say 8 or 9 out of 10. I think that all the what could hold me back from giving it a 10 out of 10, they could end up fixing in the next one. Because I think that's one of those things where they're going to have to ramp it up with each installment.
Yeah.
I think that if they keep what they did with this movie, but just ramp it up a little bit more as it goes, it will reach 10 out of 10.
Right.
If they made a trilogy and they kept up the same energy, it could be a perfect fantasy trilogy.
Well, this was just laid down the groundwork too, because they've tried something similar in the past. They've given other people the reins, and it's just flopped every time. To where you could kind of tell it was a little tentative on how they wanted to approach it, but I think it really did do really well for what they were trying to do.
It did. My one key hope for it, though, even if they don't continue the story, even if they don't bring it back any of the characters or anything, they just do a new party. Keep Jonathan Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein. Keep them. They're fucking great. And that's not just my bias for John Francis Daly. Freaks and Geeks was awesome. Yeah, no, I fully recommend seeing it. Yeah.
We forgot about our like us on Facebook, subscribe.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Make sure to rate us.
Yep.
Leave us feedback. It doesn't matter whether it's criticism or praise, anything like that. Just let us know if we could be doing anything better, if we're doing anything really great. Just let us know.
Yeah, and rating us, I listen primarily on Spotify, and the way the Spotify stuff works is I can even tell because I listen to podcasts, not only this one, but like true crime and like horror short stories and stuff like that. And if they have enough ratings and higher enough ratings, they will push us to other people that listen to other movie podcasts, other geek podcasts, other what have you. So where ratings will definitely help push this out to get even more listeners, even more people.
In other words, it's available for everybody.
Right, yeah.
Even geeks. They're available for geeks too.
So,
but yeah, definitely check us out on any audio services, on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon. The download number, guys, it just keeps going up and up, which we thank you for that. We appreciate that.
The Twitter likes went up too.
Oh, good.
Awesome.
Good.
We're up to I think 13 now.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it's at Cinema Asylum, and once we have 500 downloads and 100 likes on Twitter, we will give away Avatar on Blu-ray. So
Now let's do this.
let's get
yeah.
going.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But one piece of news I thought would be kind of interesting because it's just so off the wall. It's not typical movie news. It's about an actor. Dennis Quaid is releasing his first album,
Oh, okay.
really?
Okay.
and I know with me and John we have a lot of religious followers. It's a praise and worship album.
Oh,
Oh,
cool. Okay.
nice.
So I just
Okay,
thought I'd mention
yeah.
that real quick.
That's very cool. Yeah, Dennis Quaid, he was by far, he was great, and I can only imagine. He was wonderful in that
I love
movie.
him in Soul Surfer. That's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, Soul Surfer.
It's in my top 100.
I need to check out Soul
You
Surfer.
haven't seen it?
I need to
It's a
watch
good
it.
movie.
It's a good movie.
I don't
I really need to watch
a
it.
lot of like religious stuff or anything
Right.
Yeah.
like that. But
Right.
yeah, I liked it.
He was also in Legion on the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That
Covers
one.
the whole deal.
All right, Matthew, what trivia question you might stump us for this one?
I don't have Spider-Man. I didn't get one in time.
Ugh.
Damn it.
What are the top 3 rated sci-fi movies on IMDb? Bonus points if you could get positions.
I'm
Ooh.
not doing fucking position.
Okay, all right, okay, sci-fi. Okay.
Can we
I
only
will-
give 3 answers each?
Yeah, 3 answers each.
Okay, I will go with the original Star Wars A New Hope.
Mhm.
Inception. What's another sci-fi movie that a lot of people love? No, you're gonna need to help me out on this one. I'm trying.
almost to figure out.
I'm
Right?
trying to
Yeah,
figure out.
I don't think knowing Star Wars fans as well as I do, I don't think that New Hope would be on there.
Maybe
if it-
Empire.
if it
Maybe
was on
Empire
that-
Strikes
I
Back.
could see Empire.
Okay, I'll go with that.
Revenge of the
Empire Strikes
Jedi would
Back,
be closer.
Inception. I'm trying to think of another critical acclaim science fiction movie. Okay, Blade Runner. I'll go with those. Empire Strikes Back, Inception, and Blade Runner.
Okay, I'll wait till everybody's done before I give the correct
Okay.
answer.
Villain Views, Dune. I'm not doing this in any order, by the way.
I know.
I'm gonna guess Dennis Villain Views, Dune. Man, I want to say Blade Runner 2049 because everybody seemed to fucking love it.
It's so good.
I really wish that I could get into Villain Views movies. I'm ready for part 2 of Dune. I really want to say that, but I don't want to commit to it because it could be like 4th or 5th. That's the thing. God, it's gotta be one of the Aliens movies. The original Predator. I will say the original Predator. God, I need a third one.
Okay, so Dune,
Man,
Predator.
this is hard. There's so many really good ones out there. Fuck. Do I want to commit
Is that
to
your answer?
Aliens?
No.
For my third one, fuck.
No.
I mean, if you look it up, there's probably a movie somewhere. Let's be honest.
Man, I cannot. You know what? Aliens 3 was the one that everybody liked, right? Or was that the
Aliens. Probably,
Okay.
probably people would say either Alien or Aliens. So I would say pick one of those two. That's what I would do.
Got it, Alien.
Okay.
I'll go Alien.
Okay.
I feel like that's a safe bet.
All right, Gavin.
I think I have my 3, but I'm not sure on the exact numbers.
Okay.
That's fine. Nobody else gets the number.
Right. So I'm gonna guess the numbers, but I'm gonna give you my first three first, and then kind of like in my head once I have them out there. So I think my 3 would be Inception. I think that's probably one of the best, like the highest rating.
Yeah.
Empire Strikes Back has to be up there, I think. The Matrix. I think The Matrix might be included.
Dude!
I can see the
Yeah,
Matrix.
I could see. Oh,
Really?
shoot. Okay, let me get this order then. Okay, hold on.
I got 2 out of 3 right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm gonna say Inception's. I'm gonna say Inception's first. I have a
want
feeling
the
that's
top
got to
10.
be first. Matrix or Empire Strikes Back is second though. That's
And the positions on the list of top 250 are 14, 15, and 16, so they're all in a row.
I want to put. Okay, I think The Matrix is more well known and more popular. So where like The Empire Strikes Back, obviously like just about anybody knows it, but I feel like if you don't get into Star Wars, it's not necessarily a thing you would watch. To where like I feel like everybody's watched Matrix.
Okay.
Just about anybody like that's just watched movies at this point. So I'm gonna say Matrix is second, and then Empire Strikes Back is third.
No, it's Inception, Empire.
Dang, so close.
Yeah, you did really good with that.
I'm actually very surprised that I got 2 out of 3. I am very surprised.
It's not Dylan's day for trivia.
Where
No, I got-
where was
I wanna see top 10.
Brave Runner ranked?
Let me look. I think Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049 are both in the top 100. Let me look.
And I would take a guess. It would probably be at least 4, 5, 5, 6.
Well, that was 14, 15, 16, so...
Huh.
So
Okay.
it's way past that somewhere.
Where's how do I find like?
Well, you got to
top-
think
a
too. When it
sci-fi?
first came out, it wasn't necessarily as hailed
don't
as it
really
is
look
now.
You don't
It's
if
it's
in the
buried.
top 100, it's... Well, Blade Runner 2049 is not. It's Blade Runner, let's see if that is. Yeah, top rated movie, 179.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah. What I was going to tell Gavin was that I need to watch the Blade Runner movies with Matthew, but I can definitely tell you it's a visual masterpiece.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely. I mean, when you
Second
got,
one's even better.
when you got the great director like Denis Villeneuve, and also the great director like Ridley Scott, who knows how to direct science fiction, you're pretty much gonna go see a movie just for the visuals and not just for the storytelling.
right.
And then...
Wow, Aliens 52.
Yeah.
Came close to the top 50.
What are 4 and 5? I'm curious.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Okay, hold on. I found top 50. What the fuck?
Shawshank's number 1.
No.
On the right list, yeah.
Top 50 sci-fi movies and TV shows. Number 1
Oh,
is
that-
Guardians.
That's not an official list.
How is
Yeah.
it not?
That's, there is no official list, it's just the top 250 movies.
Right. I clicked on sci-fi. And it took me.
Yeah, those are all user lists.
How is that fucking user list?
That's what all of them are, yeah.
I have another
fucking
question.
ridiculous.
How is Shawshank Redemption sci-fi? That's not
No.
sci-fi.
No, that's top
That's
movies.
the top 250 movies of all time.
I just say, Dylan, don't screw me up, man. I don't use smoke or or weed.
The top 10.
Weed.
Shawshank number 1. Godfather number 2. The Dark Knight number 3.
Okay.
Godfather 2 number 4. 12 Angry Men number 5.
I need to watch that.
Schindler's List number 6.
Love that
I
one.
expected that to be on there
Return of
somewhere.
the King number 7. Pulp Fiction 8.
Yep.
Fellowship of the Ring number 9. And The
Oh,
Good, the Bad, the Ugly number 10.
yeah,
Ah,
that's a
interesting.
solid list.
All right.
I approve of IMDb
Speaking of
tastes.
movies, I might as well go first to tell you what movies I actually watched this week. I haven't watched much. I only watched I watched the new movie, and then I watched 2 movies at home. But the one movie that I want to talk about, and I personally think it's an underrated Steven Spielberg masterpiece. It's called Amistad. It's based on a true story movie back in the 1830s, 1839, and it tells the story of people. It's a courtroom drama that are played by Morgan Freeman, Matthew McConaughey, and Anthony Hopkins.
I got something real quick.
Okay.
So enough people have voted on it across the Spider-Verse. It's already in the top 250.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what?
Absolutely.
It's at
Good.
17 already because enough people have voted.
Whoa, that's
Wait.
crazy. In a week, it
What?
beat out
It's
200
3 days,
and...
yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's at number 17 after the.
Yeah, it's been out for 3 days, 4 days now.
It's
In
deserved.
4, that's why. I mean,
We're
it's
gonna talk about it
absolutely,
later.
it's
It's
100%
deserved.
Yeah,
deserved.
we're-
It's 100%
yeah,
deserved.
yeah, we're gonna talk about it later.
Yeah, I just had to bring that up.
Yeah, that's
But anyway,
deserved.
but yeah, it's a court drama movie, and their goal is to bring the guy named I'm gonna try to get his name right, Sonique, played by a great actor by the name Digimon Hansu, back to Africa, back to his home, and it's up to them to come up with the reasons why he deserved to come back home in Africa.
Okay.
It's a amazing movie. It's, I mean, we know that the 1800s, 1830s for that matter, was very tough when it comes to slavery. But to have these people say, we want to bring this guy back to Africa, it's a powerful story. If you guys have not seen it, it's a fantastic movie. It won't be for everybody. It is more of a court drama / history kind of movie, but I found it totally fascinating throughout the entire film. And you can't go wrong with Steven Spielberg. You know how much I love Steven Spielberg. And when they talk about greatest Steven Spielberg movies, it's not talked about much. And that's a shame. It deserves to be talked about. So, love Mama Style. It's really great. Another movie I watched, which we'll talk about that later, in one of the rankings. And since I was in Marvel fever, I decided to play the Avengers video game for the PS4. And I decided to play it. It's my first time playing it. I'm just now getting into the game. I can't really comment on the game yet because I just now started playing the game.
Okay.
It's fun so far, although I'm trying to know, okay, when do I get to play the actual Avengers storyline? So I'm still waiting to figure out when I'm going to play the actual storyline.
It's like 3 missions in.
Yeah.
Oh, 3
yeah.
missions there.
Like 3 missions and you meet Hulk. I believe it's like at like this end of the second. No, it's at the end of the third one. Yeah,
because I know people were very mixed on the game. Although mixed perception doesn't bother me. If the game makes me excited, I want to play the game. But it doesn't matter what people say. So
I'm going to be pissed for the rest of my fucking life unless they make a sequel, which I highly doubt that they're going to make a sequel because they seem like they were really eager to move on, or at least the people in charge of them were eager to move on. I'm going to be very pissed for the rest of my fucking life because they came out with a tie-in book called The Extinction Key.
huh.
It featured the Zodiac. And in that book, you meet Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange was playing for the game among like Scarlet Witch. Who else? They were playing a lot of heroes actually. I think Vision was up there. I think Wonder Man was going to be playing. Quicksilver.
Oh boy!
They were playing for a lot of characters.
If I love the game, then yeah, I'm gonna be so disappointed.
Yeah, it's really upsetting. I'm really bummed out. I would have fucking loved to play as Doctor Strange. In that kind of a game, I would have loved to play Doctor Strange. We're never gonna fucking get that now. Never. They're not going to make a Doctor Strange solo game. Honestly, with having tried an Avengers game, I don't think they're going to try another strictly Avengers game ever again.
There is good news, though.
At least not within the next 10
there
years.
is good news, though. At least Insomniac Games is making a Wolverine game, which,
that's true.
looks incredible.
I am so pumped
It
for
looks
that.
incredible.
I mean, I love the 2 Spider-Man video games. It's like my top 5 greatest video games of all time.
Oh yeah, the story
I
is.
love those
man, the
games.
story is phenomenally paced. It's so
it's
well
like
done.
watching an actual Spider-Man movie, except you're playing the game.
Yeah.
I mean, the storylines is phenomenal.
I want to play it really bad.
Well, and I've been following
Spider-Man or
through.
Wolverine?
Spider-Man.
Yeah, I've been
You haven't
following
played Spider-Man
through.
yet?
Oh, PS4.
Fair.
I've been following through ever since the first one came out because I fell in love with the game, and obviously I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. And like,
I'm pumped for the sequel.
oh yeah,
still
yeah,
haven't
the
watched
first
it.
one is
It's-
phenomenal. Miles
bit from
Morales.
The gameplay is amazing.
Oh yeah, the
I've
gameplay
seen
trailer
bits
is
of,
amazing.
him with the symbiote. It looks
Yeah,
fucking awesome.
it's so of the 10-minute gameplay, 20-minute gameplay that we
10
saw.
minute gameplay. Yep.
It's pretty well handled. So the way they're doing it, the combat system's a little different, but in a good way. They're adding to it this time. And I mean, yeah, And we haven't gotten anything that I know of the Wolverine game since way back when they had the teaser
where
for Spider-Man 2.
I'm waiting for the gameplay so that way we can actually see when the release date's coming
Right,
out.
because we got the teaser for
Next
Spider-Man
year.
2 within 6 months of Miles Morales releasing, I want to say. Somewhere, it
Yeah.
wasn't too far after.
Yeah,
And
I'd say
literally
so.
within that same amount of time, we got Wolverine right next to it.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen anything but like that 30-second, minute-long teaser trailer for it.
Well, okay, I think the reason why we haven't seen a whole lot is because we've already had a Wolverine game. Wolverine X-Men Origins is, or at least for consoles, is praised as being one of the best superhero games of all time.
Yep.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
It's universally praised for that. Honestly, I think that what they have to do is they have to... They're not going to do what they did in that game.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to avoid that, but they're trying to keep it... I think they're going to try to keep the same kind of free flow that they did with Spider-Man, but incorporate it into a character like
Well, and it's
Which can
interesting.
be a little bit difficult with
Yeah.
Wolverine.
Well, and part of me thinks the reason they changed combat not only to adapt for the symbiote game mechanics was also because they wanted to test out something similar they're going to do with Wolverine, because it's in the same universe.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
it
it's
is.
by
Yeah.
Insomniac. too,
Yeah,
right?
it's a shared. Yeah, it's in the exact same universe. So I'm really curious. I'm going to be keeping my eyes peeled through the entire Spider-Man 2 game because I have a really big inkling that they're going to be teasing some stuff for Wolverine through it. Whether it's just mentions of villains, whether it's like mentions of mutants coming around or something like that. You
Yeah.
know, like they see Lizard and they're like, oh, maybe one of those newfangled mutants we be here, something like that. You know,
Right.
throwaway line that just mentions it. But also just to find things that like I could see them doing that for the Wolverine game, whether it be game mechanics, whether it be stuff like that.
Yeah, Man with Claws causes uproar and bar.
Yeah, right.
From
right.
She-Hulk.
Yep,
yeah.
yep.
Something
Yeah,
like that.
because like it's not going to be gadget based like Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2 is. Like a lot of the combat, it's free flow, which is amazing, but it's not going to be super gadget based. So, I mean, you just got to imagine the way Wolverine is. If they do him right, if they just have like some way of doing like a rage meter, or just like as you're fighting free flow, just destroying people, you're just consistently getting to the point to where you're just blasting through people.
They need to make it MA to even.
Oh, absolutely.
It has
I-
to be mature. I need to be fucking soaked in blood as Wolverine.
Yeah, absolutely.
That has to happen.
You can't do.
I am not going to be surprised that it's going to be rated M. That was
Yeah,
not
they
surprising.
learned that through trying to PG-13 all the Fox X-Men movies. Like
Yeah.
they got better as they got more serious, and
Yeah.
Logan was one of the best ones they made, and that was rated R. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a bottle crusher.
Sorry, guys.
The bottle crusher.
I burned like 2,300 calories today. So, like, I'm very thirsty.
All right, to get back on track, any other movies?
Good. Matthew?
I don't know if I watched anything new this week
I
besides the obvious.
could do mine really fast.
Okay.
Okay.
Basically nothing. I've been watching Pokemon Indigo League. That's what I
Nice.
spent most of my time watching. I rewatched Dungeons and Dragons again. I was gonna rewatch Into the Spider-Verse before we watched Across yesterday,
I did.
but I just didn't have the time for it.
Yeah.
Like
was
I
the
fell
same way.
asleep for like an hour and a half at work.
Yeah.
So,
I
didn't have time.
didn't need to rewatch the whole Spider-Man movies just to understand it because I've seen it multiple times to
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Right,
I was
right.
going to just for fun, but
yeah, it's just nice to bridge it.
When it holds up, so like it ages like fine wine.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Like it ages well. I mean, given it's only been 3-4 years maximum since it came out, 5 years.
Yeah, 5. It came out in 2018.
So it's not necessarily like been decades since it came out, but I think decades ahead of now, it's still gonna hold up really, really
yeah,
well.
it's one of those things where like the animation
Yeah.
is fucking great to start with.
You're great.
I think the Turtle movie is using the same animation. the
Yes.
Mutant Mayhem.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah,
similar. Yeah, it's very, very similar.
You're going to excuse me for laughing because I got a quick question about the Spider-Man thing. I highly doubt that you guys even know this. But did you know there were 1970s made-for-TV Spider-Man movies
Yes.
that came out?
Yeah.
Those aren't on- those aren't on
I was thinking about...
I've not seen
Yeah,
that.
I didn't.
I was
didn't
thinking
put them on
about
my list
including
either.
them on the list, but I decided not to because they're made for TV and they're so cheap.
Okay.
Yeah.
The thing is,
It's
I
mediocre at best.
I did my research into it because I was gonna watch it and throw it on my list. But when I did the research onto it, there were 2 as far as my research showed.
Actually, there were
Excuse
3 of them.
Well, there was the first one, which was a 22-minute one. That was like all original material. Then there was the second one, which was like the Revenge of Spider-Man or something like that. And apparently that was cut directly from the TV show. And then the one, if there was a third one, it probably followed up with the same character, and they probably did the same exact thing.
Yeah, I think it
So
was
I feel like you
called
could've just
Spider-Man
watched the show
Strikes.
and
I
then
think it was
just
called
watched the
Spider-Man
22
Strikes
one.
Back that came out in
Yeah.
'81. Yeah, which they were so cheap. And
Well, it was 70s Japanese TV.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, they were doing a lot with very little.
here's my biggest problem with the '77 Spider-Man movie. I mean, the green screen, it was terrible. The
Yeah.
green screen's so bad. And how do you not have music in the action scene? There was no music in the action scene. I'm serious. When I watched it,
Okay.
there was no music. Hello, in the Sam Raimi trilogy, there was
The
music.
same
with action,
Raimi trilogy that came out at the beginning of 2000s.
Exactly, that had music
With an actual budget.
With
with
an
actual
actual
budget. They had music with action. You mean to tell me that Marvel in the '70s, when they didn't know what they were doing
It wasn't
at
Marvel.
the time, when they didn't know what they were doing at the time, they decided, nope, we're not going to add any music.
It wasn't Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a Japanese production company.
They didn't
have the they
it's
didn't
still
have
Marvel
licensing to Spider-Man at that point. That's how it ended up going to Sony.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But would you agree though that there should have
Marvel
been
sold
there?
off everything.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
would you agree
They've
though
been buying it back.
there should have been at least music in the action scenes? Every movie has
Should
to
have
have action
been. I
scenes.
mean, they did it
yeah.
with Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Exactly.
Spider-Man was also a Western IP.
Yeah.
So
I did not know
there's
that.
not going to
Yeah.
be a lot of people in the East at that time that would have really invested in Spider-Man. Therefore, it would have had a lower budget. So I mean, it makes sense why there wasn't.
Right.
It's just it would have been nice if there was.
Yeah,
But
it was.
You can't expect there.
It was
to
just
happen.
me. It was just like I said. It was just mediocre at best. I mean, let's be honest. The 2000s to 2020 versions is way better.
Yeah.
way better. But anyway,
So I rewatched a couple movies. I'm only going to get into one though. I rewatched Rise of Skywalker.
Okay.
It gets a little bit better each time.
I think so.
there you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I watched it because it was one of my free Disney movie rewards.
Nice.
Okay.
It
Okay.
was the 4K version.
Oh, cool.
Sick.
I
All
didn't
right.
realize it was delivered. It was sitting in my mailbox in the heat for 2 days. So I wanted to make sure it worked.
That's
You open it up and it's just warped.
That's a good- that's
You,
as good a
put it
reason
into
of
the
any.
DVD player and the DVD player goes. Toot, toot, toot.
It worked. So. And then I did a Scooby Doo marathon the other day.
Okay.
And I
Ooh,
watched The
nice.
Return of Zombie Island for the first time.
Yeah, I still haven't seen that.
It was not good.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
started
heard.
reading. I was very surprised. I was thinking, oh, that's not good.
5 for number 1, 2.5 for number 2.
Woo.
Like 5 out of 5?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's not too bad. I mean,
Let's be honest,
there's
though.
definitely been more Scooby-Doo movies.
At least it's better than Velma. At least it's better than the
well,
TV show.
Yeah. Basically.
Have you
anything
gotten
could be
to
better
that
than
point of
Velma.
your marathon yet?
I'm not watching that.
I refuse to.
I just did 3. I did Legend of the Vampire, Zombie Island, Return to Zombie Island.
Okay.
Legend of
Okay.
the Vampire.
Honestly, it still ticks me off that they're doing a season 2. I'm still angry.
It's because they got
that
the
they're doing
viewership.
Yeah.
That's
They got their
exactly it.
viewership.
Yeah, no, that's
As much
that's
people
exactly
hated
what
for it, they got paid for their
But
views
would you
and
agree,
they got
buddy?
the viewership.
Would you agree, buddy, that they only watched it just for hate watch?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah.
But
yeah,
to the
of
studio, it
course.
doesn't matter because people were still streaming it.
Yeah, numbers
They're
on
still making revenue from
numbers on a stat line doesn't show hate towards the film.
Yeah,
Or the TV show. No matter what
Right.
people watch.
yeah.
Right.
We have seen across streaming platforms that a lot of streaming companies don't actually care what the criticism is or
Yeah.
what the audience reaction
At
is.
the end of the day, as long as they get the views, exactly.
Which
Which
we
is
talked
our-
about the Kissing Booth movies.
Yeah.
Kissing Booth movies fucking suck from what I can tell. I've never fucking seen them, but I've seen a lot of reviews of them.
Yeah.
They made 3 of those movies.
Yeah.
I think 4.
And I think audiences liked it.
Well, like it was like the younger audiences.
Yeah, is that their target audience watched it and
And I've
rewatched
seen
it.
a
And,
few teenager movies that I like.
well, and it being Netflix, they have one decent teen movie, and then they have all these other ones that
Yeah.
they're going to be rewatching the better one. So no matter how bad the better one is,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, as long
you
as
know,
you get the views.
Right.
That's all that fucking
Right.
matters.
I watched a horrible Netflix movie a few years ago.
Oh
It
no!
was
What is
called
it?
A Week Away. I
Oh, we can wait. Oh yeah, I know what that is. I've been wanting to watch that actually.
It's a musical at a church.
Yeah, no, it's not ringing any bells for me.
I figured.
But
But yeah, it's like a
It's-
romantic like teen comedy.
it's a rough watch, that's for sure.
Well, Matthew, you know that's another kind of movies I love, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to enjoy it. That's right up my alley.
It's just cringy comedy and
Okay.
there's some comedy, but yeah.
Is it really that cringy?
I mean,
If it's anything like
My
Hot
sense of
American
humor
Summer, I
is
didn't-
very different than
it's
yours.
kind of like High School Musical in a way. I feel.
Hey,
Just-
I love High School Musical.
Just without the scope of being a teenager anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it feels similar in a way.
I'm okay with that because I love High
I
School
just
Musical.
watched it because the music I grew up on. So,
Oh, all right.
Well,
Yeah,
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 of course.
understandable.
Absolutely.
but yeah.
there are some so bad it's good movies, which we need to do that for a
The
episode
worst
someday.
movies?
Like so bad it's good.
Oh, yes.
Batman
That-
Robin
yeah.
is
Sharknado.
easily number one on my list.
Oh,
Sharknado's number one.
Yeah, it should be at the top of almost every.
Masters of Disguise. That'll
Oh,
bring
the
back.
Dana Carvey one?
Yeah.
Where he becomes Captain
Yeah.
America in a deleted scene.
Yep.
Sharknado should
Oh,
have
the
won
turtle
Best
licking turtle cup.
Yep.
That's the only scene that I remember.
Picture. Sharknado should have won
It's a little winner and some tiny nuts.
I should have.
That actually sounds pretty funny.
Yeah, it's so bad, but so good.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot go into it expecting it to be serious. You have to go into it thinking it's the dumbest movie ever made. It is stupid humor, but it is amazing.
I
It's
was
one
gonna
of my
tell you another
childhood
movie that
favorite
that-
movies
that-
because of
I was
that.
going to tell you another movie that's so bad it's good, but I'm going to save it whenever we do the episode because Matthew knows which one. It's
We
the
should-
movie that we
We
watched.
should watch The Room before we do that episode.
Yeah, no, I've never seen The Room.
I've never seen it either.
I really want to watch Disaster Artist, but like I feel like I wouldn't.
Lord, please save me. I need to survive.
All right, well, I mean, if Dylan watched Jack All this week, other than Spider-Verse, and then Spider-Verse 1 that I rewatched, which, again, still holds up, I watched Tag on Hulu with Jeremy Renner, Ed Helms.
I never heard of that movie.
I
It's
finally watched that last year.
it's so fun.
Yeah,
it's
I
it's
like
a
it.
fun movie.
It
It's
looks like it was fun.
it's a feel-good movie, but at the same time, Jeremy Renner in it is hilarious.
Yeah, yeah.
He's
I
the
love it.
funniest part of it. Like, and even Ed Helms, like, I rewatch a lot of TV shows and sitcoms and stuff like that, and The Office is one of my constant rewatches. And to be completely frank, I actually have this like sort of stigma to Ed Helms. He's a great actor, but his character he plays kind of fell off for me a little
He
bit.
got
That's just a
better
personal.
later.
He did get better later. But just a few of the decisions they went with the character just didn't really stick to me. But
Yeah.
in this movie, he's great too. Like, he's really good in this movie.
Have you seen Down?
Yes,
Jeremy
great
Renner
movie.
in that.
Oh, he's so good in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Ben Affleck and Jeremy Renner, right? Yep, that was. I actually.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Jeremy Renner is feeling much better after that.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, man, that was just a brutal accident. I'm
Yep.
so glad he's doing great.
Yeah.
That actually reminds me. There have been a lot of Marvel quotes recently regarding the future of the MCU. Like Jeremy Renner said that he's completely open to returning as Hawkeye.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
His like healing and therapy and everything has gone really well. Haley Atwell said the same exact thing. She can't wait to jump back into the boots of Kate Bishop.
Yep.
You mean Haley
Steinfeld.
Haley Atwell.
Yeah. Sorry, I've been thinking about Haley Atwell
She
a
did
lot
make the
recently.
cut.
Shut up. That's going in the bank. You know what? That was actually a really subtle one,
Mm-hmm.
but shut up. You could have squeaked by if I had thought about it for a
I was
split
gonna ask
second.
him if he likes my puns.
Sale at the store. She was half off.
Shut up! Shut up!
Yeah, we'll probably get
You're
back
at
around.
82.
So we'll probably get back around to some of the MCU stuff, especially recent MCU stuff, when we talk about more Spider MCU kind of stuff going into
we'll
that.
talk more about the MCU.
Um, Because as
Shut
part
up! 83. I'll put it in a second.
as part of my theorist kind of thing, I have a lot of ideas on how the MCU is going to be bringing in like
Yeah.
the classic X-Men show they're rebooting, a bunch of stuff like that. Yeah.
That leads into one of the other quotes. Tom Holland has actually talked recently. He said that there are talks that they're talking in rooms about Spider-Man 4.
Yeah.
So like they're
Well, he
already
still has-
considering going forward, and he said that he apparently he said that he will return for as long as they'll allow him.
Yeah.
Which I find it really interesting, and I'm sure that we'll talk more about it because he was quoted a couple of years ago about wanting to hand it off to somebody like Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that we're going to talk about that later. But yeah, he said that recently. So Spider-Man 4 talks are currently happening. And then the
surprise.
last one that I know of, other than the rumored official casting of the Fantastic Four, which I remember all their names.
All
now.
4 of them. Yeah,
Yeah, like Paul
it's
Mescal,
interesting.
Daveed Diggs, I believe,
Yep.
and then
Um,
Adam Driver and
Margot Robbie. Yep.
Yeah,
They still should have did Samara Weaving instead of Margot Robbie. Leave
I
Margot Robbie
agree.
Harley
I agree.
I agree.
I'm gonna have trouble seeing her as Invisible Woman until I really see her play her, because
It'll be
it's not a role I could see her playing just because of what she's done recently.
I just hope she doesn't leave Harley Quinn.
I hope that she.
I
rejects
doubt
it.
she would, to be honest.
Yeah, because she is Harley.
She's one of those actors. Yeah, she's
It's
one of those
Where
actors.
she is Harley Quinn.
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans. Yeah, absolutely.
I think Al.
Yeah, yeah.
The
Just me though.
sorry. The last quote is from Chris Hemsworth. People are okay. So I'm going to clear the air about this because there are a lot of people that have been misdirected because people didn't share the full fucking quote and full fucking context. Big surprise there.
As usual.
There have been articles going around saying that Chris Hemsworth said that he's more than likely done with Thor.
Mhm.
That he said that he's not going to be returning, shit like that. Like he's moving on. Like that was the end. What he actually said was that he is super open to returning as Thor as long as it's something fun and unique.
Yeah.
Like as long as it's basically the same thing as Chris Evans. What Chris Evans said, where like while Chris Evans was like, no, I am more than likely never coming back.
Yeah.
Instead of him saying that, Chris Hemsworth said almost the same kind of thing, but what he said was that he's open to it.
Mhm.
He's open to returning. He's hoping that if they bring Thor back, which he doesn't know what they could do with Thor at this point.
Yeah.
I feel like
but
he'll
he-
be in King Dynasty, and they might kill him off in that.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if they will kill him. If they kill him, they are going to raise love, I guess.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't
and
know what
I-
else to call her right now.
Yeah, I've got a side thing that Dylan knows the extent of because we've talked Marvel before
Yeah.
that I won't get into because it's not an MCU episode by any means. But to put it shortly, as hot of a take it is, I think that they handled Thor the worst in the MCU when it comes to characters.
Yeah.
I think his character was handled worse. I mean, you look at Captain America and Iron Man are the easiest to look at, to where they have in their trilogies and their other movies, they have an overarching story arc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's literally, it was said best in Avengers, to where one person would never lay on the wire, sacrifice for the big play. The other person is too hotshot and never really does something for himself. And they both really reflect each other and flip at the end. To where Thor, I feel like what they did with him was they tried to tackle big development in each individual movie rather than over his trilogy.
And it didn't help the situation.
And it didn't help the situation. So like this with Chris Hemsworth, to where like it's, for me, it's both a relief and kind of it's kind of a shame at the same time that they may not be venturing and doing a lot more with him, because I feel like they could, like, I feel like they should reprise him just to try and bring a little more glory to the character.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't really know what they could do to really bring him back to what he could be.
Yeah.
Like, the way they've just kind of fumbled. Like, I think Ragnarok's the only true, like, Thor 1 was great, don't get me wrong, but I think Ragnarok was really his only, like, shining glory moment. And
Infinity War.
Yep. Infinity War was really good, too. Yep, I'll give you that one. But at the same time, it definitely wasn't comic book Thor.
No.
We never got, the same thing with Hulk. We never got comic book Hulk.
We could end up getting it in the future.
Right, but
the blend between Bruce and Hulk is kind of what would throw that off.
yeah,
For me.
Yeah.
They would have to go to what he originally was.
right.
Infinity War was probably the best take on Thor.
Yeah,
That's it.
probably. Well, they took his character more serious.
Yeah.
Like, it's fun to do the comedy and everything like that, but I just feel like they never really took Thor serious after Thor 1.
Right.
And it,
I would beg to disagree. I think Dark World was the last time that we had like a more serious Thor. Like he did
Well,
he
yeah.
gave jokes.
yeah.
He gave jokes. He was a little more jokish in that one. But it wasn't until Taika Waititi took over that he was like
Full on comedy.
full
Right,
comedy. Yeah.
right.
And then he just went balls to the wall for Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
Which you and I
disagree
liked a lot more than Matthew does.
there. Well, okay, I've given my reasons on why I enjoy Love and Thunder. I don't think I have to go back into it.
Right.
Which go back and listen to our listen to our
find
MCU
out.
rankings and you'll find out.
Yep. Yeah. So to cycle back around, yeah, that's about it. Just tag. It is funny though. You mentioned the town, and I literally had watched the town for the first time, and then the following episode was when you had mentioned you had just watched it. I was like, that's crazy. I really like that movie though. And then the only thing else that I've really been watching is I just finished the first season of Rebels because I'm preparing for Ahsoka.
Yeah.
I started my. Yeah, I will say I skipped a lot of Clone Wars just because a lot of it's filler and it's important to Ahsoka as a character, and I will return to it. But 2 or 4 seasons is a little easier to manage than 7, and seeing as how Ahsoka's coming out in a few months.
Yeah, I think I'm on like episode 18 of Clone Wars.
Right, and I
18 or something.
yeah, my dad is a huge fan, so like I know the general like ups and downs and how Ahsoka evolves anyway, but.
I will say, when it comes to season 6, watch the clone arc.
Yes.
The Yoda arc doesn't matter a whole lot.
Yep.
I know that there are a lot of Star Wars fans that would listen to this and be like, "Oh, well, it's not really filler. It's fucking filler. Be fucking honest." Like, yes, that is all the reason. There is a reason for it all being the way that it is.
Right. It's stuff to be drawn on later.
It's a show like the actual war itself. Like, there's not going to be a massive overarching story.
Right.
Like, it makes fucking sense, absolutely. But most of it is filler.
Yeah.
like,
It's just stuff that they haven't drawn onto yet.
Yeah.
To where it has its place and it will eventually when they decide to take Yoda further, which I feel like they will some point, because he's still one of the most mysterious characters in all of Star Wars.
Yeah. They actually had a really good 4-issue arc for him in the 2015 Star Wars comic run.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually really interesting to watch that. His episodes in season 6 are pretty good too, but you just don't really need his episodes in season 6 unless you want to know more about Yoda. You can just fucking skip them. The clone arc in that one, fucking amazing. Some of the best episodes on animated television, like as a whole.
I feel like eventually we're gonna get a Yoda training Count Dooku prequel series.
That would be cool. I could see that. That would be really cool.
We got a little bit of it in Dooku Jedi Lost, which was a audio play.
Okay.
Well, we also got a little
ended up
bit
becoming
from
a book.
Tales of the
it was a
Jedi,
script
didn't
form.
we?
Yes, we got a little bit of it in that. That was mostly just Dooku and
Right, that
Qui-Gon.
was more him. Right.
But like we did see more of him during that era, who he was prior to falling. No, so we got a little bit of that in Dooku Jedi Lost, but I would love a lot more about it.
Mhm.
Like, give us a Master and Apprentice book for them.
Yes.
Yeah,
like that would be fucking phenomenal.
So yeah, and then the only other show I'm rewatching for the 7th time, Daredevil.
Okay.
The
Yeah,
Netflix
still not
2.
finished
It is my favorite TV show ever made. Period.
I'm making my way
Really?
through all the Netflix MCUs right now.
Yeah, it is
I think
incredible.
I think I'm halfway through Jessica Jones season 2.
Yeah, Jessica Jones is good. Daredevil is good. The first season of Luke Cage is really good.
Yeah, I really like that.
Iron Fist is rough.
Yes.
You did?
Yeah,
It's enjoyable.
Yeah, it's enjoyable, but especially compared to like Daredevil,
Yeah.
it's a rough
Yeah.
watch.
I feel so far I've seen every season 1, and then Jessica Jones season 2, and then Defenders. I'm halfway through Jessica Jones season 2. I feel like in terms of season 1, I got Daredevil,
Mhm.
Punisher, then Iron Fist, and then Luke Cage.
Oh, dude, did you see that John Bernthal? I think you guys may have mentioned it, but he got casted for the Daredevil project coming up as
Reborn.
Punisher.
Yeah.
He's one of those people, one of those actors. He is Punisher in my opinion.
Yes.
Yeah.
He is Punisher. He
Same with Charlie
matches
Cox's
it.
Daredevil.
Yes, absolutely. Like no specific hate to Ben Affleck Daredevil.
Right. It's
Charlie
really
Cox does it
decent
better.
movie.
I'm sorry. He does it so much better.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's like sometimes like so I usually am one of the people to where I have to watch it all in order, and you have to watch some of Defenders because
Yeah.
between season 2 of Daredevil and season 3 of Daredevil, there's a jump. And season 3 of Daredevil leaves off. I can't remember exactly where in Defenders, but it leaves off the Daredevil character. It starts the Daredevil character like in the events after a Defenders.
Yeah.
But I've seen it once, and I usually just skip it afterwards,
Yeah.
just because I love Daredevil itself.
Yeah.
And I especially love watching Daredevil because each season has a long shot, one take in quotations, because obviously there are secret breaks and stuff, fight scenes.
Right.
Like the Cut Man from season 1 is one of the best action sequences in superhero movies and shows I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. I can't remember which episode it is, but when the stair fight when he has the chains on him after the huge Punisher thing, and then the prison fight when he in season 3, which you haven't gotten to yet.
Right.
It's another one of those long shots. Like I said, every season has it, and then the Kingpin, Daredevil, and X. I'm not gonna say who unless you already know because I'm not gonna spoil who it is. But it's a 3-person fight. Incredible. The emotion shown in that fight, especially near the end, is unfathomable. It's so good. Charlie Cox's performance is just top tier.
The prison fight episode that he just mentioned, best episode of the series in my opinion.
Okay.
It's also, in my opinion, the best performance that we got from Charlie Cox.
Yep, I can see that. Absolutely. Yeah.
He should have won an award for that.
Yep.
For that.
And I'm so happy they brought Vincent D'Onofrio back as Kingpin. I think his performance all throughout Daredevil, all 3 seasons.
Even in
Mwah.
Hawkeye, good.
Especially. And I'm excited we're going to see more of him, hopefully, in the MCU, especially since they're adapting the storyline where he's actually blinded by Echo, it seems. I think that's what happened at the end of Hawkeye. That's what I'm thinking happened is
there's no way
she
they
turned
died.
back.
They didn't show it.
Right, they didn't show it.
I think he's going to be in Spider-Man 4.
Yeah, I think so too.
I can see that. Become mayor.
So I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna bring in when he's blind for a section of the comics, which is a really interesting run. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head.
I just got one more thing before we get started on Spider-Verse review, but my favorite scene is the rooftop scene.
Oh yeah,
When Punisher talking about the morality of
yeah.
Yeah.
That is
It's
so good.
it's incredible too because on paper it's a slow sequence,
Yeah.
but you don't feel like you're dragging your feet.
No.
It's so well done. It's incredible. Just both of their performances. They're
What about redemption? What do we believe in fairy tales now or whatever?
right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, it's so good. And there are so many good points between Punisher and him. Like I'm doing what you're doing, except mine lasts.
Yeah.
It's
a powerful scene.
right, and it plays through. That's kind of the the kind of arc that Daredevil goes through all of season 3 is that specific arc. He's like, he really does come to the point to where he's like, should I start killing people or should I start like I've started to lose the effect that I'm wanting. I'm starting to see how what I'm doing isn't truly working. Should I push that further? And it's such an like season 3 overall is probably the best season. Like season 1 and 2 have incredible moments that can't pass it, but season 3, story wise, arc wise, everything incredible.
Yeah.
I don't
I
just
agree
like
with that.
entertainment stuff. I like especially superhero stuff that makes you think.
Yes, it does. It does very much so. It's very good.
All right, before we get started with our Spider-Verse review, spoilers, of course, if you have
Yes.
not seen the movie, because
I'm spoiling a lot of it
because-
with my theories.
because-
Just saying.
because we got tons to talk about the most anticipated film of 2023.
Yes.
Since you guys are the comic book expert, either Dyllan or Matthew can go first. What you think of the movie? Is this one of the best movies of the year? Go right ahead.
I'm gonna say we're following an increase. Ant-Man was the worst superhero movie. Then Shazam's next best. Then Guardians, and now we're up to Spider-Verse.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're going on a steady increase. So let's see if it continues with Flash. That's my first initial thought.
I hope it will. Given all the praise that we've gotten for Flash, I think it will. I just gotta say, hands fucking down, best anime movie of all fucking
Yeah.
time.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
is the fucking
I
best.
mean, seriously. I gotta tell you.
It's even better than Spider-Verse 1.
yes.
Yeah.
Far
Which
better.
I thought was
insane.
I'll give you my thoughts of where it's going to be ranked by the time we get to Spider-Man rankings. I'm not going to get to that yet, but I'll let you know where I should put it. But I'm going to put this hand down. Best comic book movie ever.
well, because that's what it is.
Seriously.
It's a
I can say it,
true
yeah.
comic book movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the animation
The animation is
is
pure art.
it's just
Yeah.
it's unbelievable.
Gwen's world in all of her scenes with her dad and with her bandmate. It's so good. In the fight with Vulture and oh man,
My favorite
dude.
animation is when it's raining.
Yes.
The green hue.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
When Miles
oh,
ends
yeah.
up in his absolutely. The green and red, absolutely. It's incredible.
And I mentioned the Spider-Man video game. There were Easter egg.
Yes,
Yeah.
Genki was playing it.
And I saw
Genki
it. I
was
just thinking,
well. Not only
hey,
that, but
I saw that.
you know the scene where Miles goes in and out of his not his apartment, but his dorm room with him, and he's playing a game while he's molding on his essay.
I saw
He's
that. I
playing
was thinking,
Spider-Man.
wait a minute.
He
I
is
played
playing the
that
game.
Yeah.
He's playing the game. Yeah.
You guys never played Scarlet Spider?
Yeah, in December.
Yeah.
Perfect fucking casting.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's so good.
Like, as soon as I heard the voice, I was like, son of a bitch. I was like, there's no way.
But seriously, Sony Animation, they pretty much has grown up with their animation.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
First of all, you start with Cry with a Chance to Meatballs, then the animation starts to go up a little bit, and then once you get the Spider-Verse, boom, it's game over.
It's
You start
leagues
making
ahead.
Into the Spider-Verse, Mitchell's versus the Machines, and now Across the Spider-Verse.
Well, and
Sony
like-
Animation is
Yeah,
unbelievable.
and like going into Spider-Verse 2, I had the very like mind-saving mindset. Like, okay, I'm going to this movie theater knowing that Into the Spider-Verse, the first one, was one of the best, if not my favorite animated film of all time. It pushed boundaries of animation that no other movie has ever done. It's the best comic book movie today at that point. It can't be better. I can't think of this movie going to be better because I know it's going to be a letdown. It wasn't.
No,
it was easily.
not.
I thought it was it was incomprehensible that this second movie would be better, and it's so much better.
And to think that it ended on a cliffhanger?
Yes,
Yeah.
Can you imagine what part 3 is going to be?
exactly.
Okay, so when Gavin and I went to go see it yesterday, when we went in, Gavin was like, all right, I'm not going to spoil any of this for you. He's like, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to let you. He was like, you're going to know what I mean when I say this after we're done with the movie. He was like, I know that this is going to be part 1 of 2.
hmm
He was like, I know that it's going to be a while before we get 2. He was like, I'm just
No.
saying, is it next year?
March next year.
Yes!
Let's go.
Okay.
Not even a full year. I love that.
wasn't looking at the
I
next.
love that, yeah.
I wasn't looking at the next
I
date.
love that.
Because I was like, God, I don't want to see that it says like 2025.
Right.
I was like,
No,
for the
I think
love
it's
of
March-
fucking God.
I think it's the March 28th next year.
Yes,
Oh,
that's
yes,
incredible.
yeah.
Okay.
When I read
All
this,
right.
I was just thinking, awesome. I don't have to wait for so long because I want to know. And you know that I hate cliffhangers. You
Oh,
know
yeah.
that. But
Yeah.
that cliffhanger was perfect.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
Yeah, well, I literally going into the theater when we were sitting down, like he said, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I would willingly have sat through 5-6 hours of movie
Yeah,
and
yeah.
continued watching.
Like I when we were getting close to the end, I was like, this can't be where it stops.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like,
that's
there's
why
no
I
fucking
follow
way.
that shit.
I was like, this just like normally you can feel when it leads up to a
Yeah.
cliffhanger.
Right.
Like Fast X, you knew that the movie was coming to an end. You knew this was going to be
Yeah.
part 1 of
Like, this
a
can't
possible
be it.
trilogy. Yeah, like that we're coming to the end. We're getting to the cliffhanger. With this movie, it just like kept going smoothly all the way
Yeah.
to the end.
well, like
I
even
fucking
watching
loved
it,
it.
even watching it the second time, I still felt like it flew by. Like I watched it in theaters the second time,
Yeah.
and I know everything that's happening.
I heard some people complain that the film was too long.
No.
No,
And I was-
absolutely
and I was-
not.
and I was thinking,
Absolutely
no,
not. It wasn't long enough at all. Yeah, it wasn't long enough at
Perfect.
all.
I wanted more.
Yeah.
And that's what made this movie
Right.
so
That
awesome.
was too long.
Paul, you can go fuck yourself. I was just gonna say.
Like I will be upset if the second movie comes out and they don't release a full length, just uncut, unedited, straight shot of
Yeah.
both parts.
Yeah.
Because I will
They
sit
have
there and watch it a whole like I did the Snyder cut. I watched the Snyder cut straight through.
I did too.
I would do the exact same thing for
Yeah,
these
yeah,
two
When I
movies.
finished the Snyder Cut, I was like, is that it?
Right.
Like, I got to go to the bathroom once, and that was
Yeah.
it. Like, I paused it, went to the bathroom, ran back.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the most? As you pretty much heard my review, I love the Super Mario Brothers movie,
Mhm.
and I also love Into the Spider-Verse and
Yep.
Across the Spider-Verse. I'm looking forward to watching these 3 movies back to back to back
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
love all 3 of these movies. Because Across the Spider-Verse, I just this
Yeah.
movie blew me away.
That's
It's
actually
phenomenal.
exactly
It
what I
makes
did
it-
as soon as the credits started rolling. The exact thing that you're doing right now.
Yeah, literally, he had no.
it's
Once
just-
it ended, Dylan had no words. He was just sitting there with his hands behind his head. I was like, "I told you."
and at first,
I told you.
It's just like, what?
I was
Hold on. Before we do anything about fucking cameos, I want to mention my one cameo that I was so fucking excited about. Donald Glover.
Yes.
yeah,
Dude, I lost my shit. Gavin can fucking attest to it because I heard his reaction. I just during all of that, I had my hands on my knees,
Mhm.
and I was just like I was doing the Kevin McAllister thing.
Yeah.
Like my brain just started melting, and then I saw Donald Glover. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding
Yeah.
me.
And you know,
And-
he was the reason behind Miles.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right.
It's so
all right.
good, isn't it?
All right.
It's such a great movie.
I'm not going to see shit because I know that, Gavin, you're going to be talking about the theories.
Yes.
And that's going to lead into us talking more about the future of Spider-Man in the MCU.
Yep.
I'm not going to say shit, but I have so much to say about Donald Glover. Honestly, out of all the fucking cameos, which, like, my heart died every fucking time we saw anything about Uncle Ben,
Andrew
Stacy,
Garfield, Tobey
Andrew
Maguire,
Garfield,
yeah.
Anytime that we saw something like that, my heart broke
I
every
was gonna
fucking
get.
time.
I was gonna get
But
to
man.
that. I was gonna get to that. The cameos. I mean, the references to the Spider-Man movies that a lot of people love. Like, which generation do you love? The Tobey Maguire and the Andrew Garfield version. They decided to do both.
Yeah.
They decided to put both together because they got both different generation. I was kind of disappointed that Tom Holland did not show. I was kind of disappointed.
going-
Yeah, the third one.
Yeah, he'll be in the
next
third one.
Yeah,
There's
he'll be in the
no
next one.
fucking way.
But,
they didn't
but
exclude him.
seriously, I said to my brother, I bet you there's going to be some references to the Spider-Man movie. I didn't predict they were going to reference the iconic scenes of people dying in Spider-Man and the Amazing
Can we
Spider-Man.
also talk
I
about
did
the
not
fact?
predict that.
Can we also talk about the fact that among like the 3 or 4 people in the MCU and in any Marvel movie that have variants of themselves that play themselves every time? So like Doctor Strange is one of them. He's the same. It's always Benedict Cumberbatch
Yeah.
so far.
Exactly.
Scarlet Witch is another one.
J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons. He's always J. Jonah
I was
Jameson.
about to bring that up. When they mentioned the canon, like I'm assuming similar to Loki with the Secret Timeline.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we're going to
Yeah, I've got a few things for that.
I
Yeah.
feel like J.K. Simmons is supposed to be J. Jonah Jameson in the canon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. I mean, like,
all the time.
well, again, he's one of those actors.
Yes.
Like, he is J. Jonah Jameson. He even looks like him. Like,
He does. He embodies that character so fucking well.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes,
I heard the hello, Peter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what else is so funny is when they went into the Legoverse. That one was funny. That was hilarious. Because it could have been. Because I kind of want to see a Lego Spider-Man movie. I kind of want to see that.
I think it'd be really cool.
But I find it to be so hilarious that they went into the Legoverse because I was thinking, okay, Sony Animation, how do you do that? That's impossible. Then you went to the Venomverse.
Yep.
You went to go into that lady.
Did you mention
in
the-
gas station?
Did you mention the gum that Spot grabbed was Venomint?
yeah,
I did not
saw
know that.
Yeah, it was
Oh.
Venomint. All one word.
I like. I especially like the line from the Lego Spider-Man universe, which I need to do more research into the Spider-Verse number because his world was 13122. I want to see if that was actually a Lego Spider-Man's Lego set.
Okay.
It could be.
I'm very curious about that because I feel like that would be a really neat detail that they would throw in. No, I like the line in it where at the very end he was like, "Thank you, Peter. You're one of our best."
Yeah,
It's a
so
fucking Lego
throwaway.
Spider-Man.
Well, and like, A, it's so throwaway, but B, I mean, like, you gotta think he says that to every single Peter he talks to on his watch, right?
Yeah.
It's Miguel, the way he's played. By side note, Oscar Isaac.
Fucking
Come on.
phenomenal.
He's already one of my favorite actors of all time. I have a list, or not an actual list yet, but I have a few actors. Like Ethan Hawke is actually up there now.
Yeah.
But Oscar Isaac, especially after Moon Knight. Moon Knight is what did it for me.
Yes.
His
Oscar
performance in
Isaac
Moon
is
Knight.
His own freaking multiverse of madness with
Yeah.
sci-fi and superheroes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's
it's
got
incredible.
He's got Star Wars, Moon Knight, X-Men.
And at first, let's get this notice part out of the way. There is no credit scene,
Yes.
which at first I was disappointed.
It's
However,
a
though,
cliffhanger.
yeah,
Right,
but
it's understandable.
However, when the ending was getting close, because I'm thinking, okay, it's gonna end at something. I know the cliffhanger is coming,
Nope.
and then when Gwen Stacy and the game from the original Spider-Verse came, I felt like to me it was a credit scene that was not a credit scene, which I was totally fine with that. When they got into the ending and Gwen Stacy, she got the original game for the original Spider-Verse, like Spider-Ham is in there, and then
Okay.
that felt like a credit scene in a good way before the credits actually started. And the reason I said this, at first I was disappointed there was no credit scene before I went to see the movie. But then when I saw they did the cliffhanger, I was fine there was no credit scene because you're already getting excited for the new Spider-Verse movie that's coming out March of next year.
Yeah.
I know, Gavin, you got a lot of theories. I got
Absolutely.
one I want to mention because I feel like this is a very real possibility. I feel like so they're doing live action Miles.
Yeah.
I feel like
I heard about that. I was thinking, that's interesting.
Yeah, technically it's not confirmed yet, I don't think. It's still a rumor.
It is
it?
confirmed, yes, I think.
Yeah. With this, they have to.
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty much, it's obvious if it's not confirmed.
Yeah.
Paul wants Kenny from Cobra Kai to play Miles.
I still haven't watched Cobra
Okay,
Kai.
but
Kenny from Cobra Kai.
yeah,
I just
Which
wanna
one
look
was
at Stranger
Kenny?
Things.
he's the younger kid that got beat up and joined Cobra Kai
Okay.
because now he's like 16, 17.
I can kind of see it.
But my theory is, since Miles is going to be a live action, I feel like Beyond the Spider-Verse is going to be a stepping off point, and there's going to be a live action finale to it. Like Beyond the Spider-Verse is not the end of it. I feel like it's going to be a mini series, completely run by Sony, and it's going to be, since Spot's going to be the villain, obviously in part 2.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going
I'd
to
be so on board with that, Gavin.
it's going to be
I'd
a
so
mini
on board with
series
that.
to end it off. The Spider People versus a symbiote war.
That would be
Symbiotes
cool.
versus
That would be
Spider-People.
awesome. Yeah, that would be
I feel like
awesome.
That's going to be the end of it.
Well, and if you saw when they were mentioning canon events, one of the nodes that because in the movie, Oscar Isaac's character 2099, Miguel throws down the device that it shows the Web of Destiny in red,
Yeah.
and it shows the canon event nodes. One of those nodes in the very left near the end of it is him getting attacked by the symbiote, attached to the symbiote. That is a canon event to every single Spider-Man according to Sonyverse.
Yeah.
So at some point, we're gonna see it probably, which could be that. Now- Now it will be interesting though because technically, according to Sonyverse and according to this movie, which it lays out, Miles may not be included in the canon. He may not have true canon events. To where he has Uncle Aaron, which they do include. However, they specifically say that he is not. He's an anomaly. He's the true anomaly.
I did not see
So-
the Uncle Aaron thing coming.
Yeah.
I did not see that coming.
Right. So it's interesting to think that Miles may be exempt from that because he's not truly a canon Spider-Man. So he could be exempt from it. Now, another interesting thought I just had. This is where the tinfoil hats come on. Is put on. Is despite that, I still think so. You got to think every Spider-Man has their canon events.
Yeah.
Ghost Spider, Spider-Gwen is included in that.
Right.
If her dad stepped down as captain, who's her captain to die? So I think what's going to happen, especially because she met Miles' parents, I think that his dad is still going to die, but that is
Yeah.
Gwen Stacy's canon event
Yeah,
for that.
I still think Jeff dies.
I do too. Well, he dies in the comics.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Which that's another thing I want to get into. Gwen Stacy telling her dad that she is Spider Girl. That one shocked me.
The humanity behind those scenes of her talking to her dad.
Yeah.
And the colors,
I-
when you
Yeah.
can
Yeah, that's
see
what I
when
wanted
you
to
see her
mention.
melting down, like watercolor for her, I think was the best animation style. When she starts
was
breaking
watercolor?
down, yeah, that was watercolor.
Whoa.
When she
yeah.
starts breaking down, you can see it running down the
it's the
sides.
It's the
When-
tears of the wall.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly, and stuff like that. And then when and especially in the beginning, when there's such a divide, he's very warm. He's orange, yellow, reds, and
Yeah.
she's very cool, like cool colors when it's blue,
no,
green,
it's
purple.
all
And when they finally combine and it all just like it all collides with you, it's gorgeous. It's so beautifully done.
And this is the same company that made the Emoji Movie. That's
You're
the
right.
movie that people did not like. You went from the Emoji Movie to great Spider-Man movies.
The movie that forced Jordan Peele to stop acting.
Prediction. Do we think this could be Best Picture nominated?
Oh, absolutely,
yes.
easily.
It's got
Easily.
I thought
the first
about
one
that.
was.
I thought
The
about
first
that.
one was, wasn't it?
Honestly,
It's going to win Best Animated. I think it might be nominated for Best Picture, though.
It fucking better be.
Yeah.
Dude, I will smack down.
you know what?
Well, and
the
it's,
fucking-
you know
especially
what?
considering what we've gotten, like we've gotten great movies this year already. Fast
Absolutely.
X and D&D was good. I don't
Yeah.
think it's going to be Best Picture worthy.
No, I don't think Fast
Um,
X is.
I don't either. I don't either. So like
Guardians, maybe.
Yeah, I can. see
that's
Guardians.
I could see Guardians.
Oppenheimer
I could
for
see
sure.
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer's too loaded not to be. It's
Yeah.
way too loaded.
Yeah.
I mean, it's shot in IMAX camera. They
Yeah.
made the first black and white IMAX footage for this
Yeah.
movie. It's an R-rated movie with this
Yeah.
massive cast.
Yeah, it's
over
loaded.
3 hours.
Yeah, it won't not
Like
be at
Christopher
least
Nolan.
nominated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
so
gonna be R-rated.
those are
I was very surprised.
yeah, those are
But
going to
yeah.
be my four is Oppenheimer, Spider-Verse, Flash, and Guardians are going to be my four contenders, I think.
I mean, this is my
Dune could be
this
too,
is
yeah,
my
very much
They
prediction.
so.
snubbed it last time.
This is my prediction. What I think
I'm
the
gonna picture.
I think it did get nominated, but against everything else that's coming, it got completely like snubbed from awards. So
No.
did it not?
It won like 9 Oscars.
Really?
Yeah.
What the
every single
fuck was
thing.
I seeing then?
Yeah, I would say they cleaned up.
Visual and sound category, it won.
Yeah, it cleaned up.
What the fuck did I see? Because I remember during the award season,
You were too focused on his slap.
I followed like two huge Dune nuts. And like it's one of the things where I commonly disagree with them because they talk a lot of like great things about Dune. And I'm like, yeah, I actually don't really care about it.
Mid.
But yeah,
I just kinda like
but this is
fuck
pretty
Mid.
much.
But like they were like constantly like talking about it. They were like, I can't fucking believe that I didn't win this award. Like blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like they were talking like it got fucking snubbed. I wasn't super like docked into the Oscars last year. So
Yeah, but anyway, I was going to say, I mean, this is pretty much is going to be my prediction for the top 3 best movies of 2023. This is going to be my prediction. It's number 1 or number 2. It's either going to be Spider-Verse number 1 or Flash number 1, or Spider-Verse number 2 or Flash number 2. Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1 at number 3. Those for me should be top 3 best picture consideration. But here's the problem: Oscars for some reason are so stupid of not nominating animated movies for best picture.
Yeah.
yes.
They gotta
Yeah.
That's the
stop
reason why
doing
they
Yeah,
it.
made
They
the
did
animated-
it 3 times.
Yeah, I was saying
They
animated
did it with
and
Beauty and the Beast.
yeah.
They did it with Up. They did it with Toy Story 3. All 3 movies that I love, and yet the Oscars stopped doing animated movies for best
Yeah.
picture. Why?
Because if
That's
it's not
stupid.
Disney, then it
It's
doesn't
so
get into the
stupid.
Oscars.
Right.
So yeah, but across the
Spider-Verse
verse,
could be a huge upset.
Yeah.
Because not only do animated movies not get nominated for Best Picture,
Superhero movies don't either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So an animated superhero movie, it's going to rock their world.
Yeah.
Well, if those 4 nominations that we listed end up being true, that's going to just be a major upset in and of itself.
Yeah.
3 superhero movies?
Yeah. I think,
Right.
I don't know how Guardians. I feel like if Flash lives up to the hype, it will be though.
I think so.
I feel like
The
Guardians
fact
is a
that Tom Cruise
contender.
is so
I
proven
think
of-
Guardians depends on how Flash does. If
Yeah.
Flash does amazing, Guardians won't
right.
be. But if
Guardians.
Flash
As
really
of right
like
now,
drops and it
it's
doesn't
now-
do as well as
it's
it could be,
now,
then
as of
Guardians
right
will
now,
fill
it's
its spot.
number 2 on my list.
So
Across the Spider-Verse, as of right now, is easily number 1 in the best movies of 2023.
Yeah.
I love Creed 3. Don't get me wrong. I love Creed 3. I love Scream 6. Those do not compare to
No.
Across Spider-Verse.
No.
You just got defeated.
that shot
You
straight
just
up,
got your
to the top of my
punch.
rankings
You
for
got your face
2023.
punched by Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I will say the only thing that didn't improve, in my opinion, from the first one to the second one is the soundtrack. I think
the first soundtrack was better.
the first soundtrack was better. Now, not to say I still think the soundtrack was phenomenal.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong.
Absolutely.
But I think the first one was a little more notable.
Okay.
To where there weren't very many, and that could just be because of the pacing of the film. You can't really have too many it's the first part, so you're building everything up.
Right.
So you can't have a lot of payoff moments with this album.
Right.
But I mean, Metro Boomin did indeed make it boom.
Yeah.
I didn't know much about the music. Like I at least recognized the names in the first one.
Yeah. Well,
There was a lot of
and
names I
a fun fact is that when Miles is running away from all the Spider-Men and he gets to the point to where he breaks through the glass and there's a white Spider-Man hanging down upside down. He's like, "There's no way to run, man." That's him. That's that's
finger
Wait,
pointing.
really? That
Metro.
was
Yeah.
Finger pointing
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
hilarious. I love the finger pointing.
Everybody cracked up at that.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, everybody started laughing in the
Yeah.
whole theater.
And let me say one more thing before we give out our scores. I love Spider-Punk.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He is a rock star.
He was one of
in
my
a good
favorite
way.
characters.
I
in it.
do actually have a couple of things to say. Spider-Punk was one of the things that I want to mention. First of all, he was fucking great.
Yeah.
He
I
does.
fucking loved him. I don't know who played him. Did a great fucking job.
One of the dudes from Black Panther.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I don't know how to pronounce
so
his name.
he also is in Nope.
Yeah.
The main guy
Oh,
in Nope.
Daniel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
He's
all right.
interesting.
he's
Okay.
I didn't know that.
what's her face's husband that ends up turning against them in Black Panther.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the rhinos and yeah.
I have a suspicion about him. I really do. He's super in the establishment and everything, and he has a lot to gain from causing all that chaos.
Well, and he quit.
Yeah, he quit.
Yeah.
But my thing is, how anti-establishment can you get before you consider joining Spot?
Interesting.
He disrupted all of HQ. He is helping Gwen disrupt this
Right.
and to change the canon events.
Right.
I'm going to call them Nexus events because the Nexus events thing.
It's pretty similar the way the
Well,
logic
yeah,
the way that works.
it can be flip back and forth because
The way the logic works, yeah.
well, the fact that they show the sacred timeline breaking
Right,
off the way
right,
that they did,
right.
which
Yeah, that
I
was
think
another
you're
thing.
right about
That
the
was
whole
another.
crossover.
Well, that was another interesting addition too, because you can make your timeline, your web of destiny. You can make it look however you want.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a coincidence at all that it looks the exact same.
It's like the
It's
same
the exact
energy, the same
same
brain thing.
visual
Yeah.
as they do for Loki with the Sacred Timeline. It's the exact same kind of
It's the same
blues,
thing.
whites, purples. It goes up exactly. It's
Yeah.
the exact same.
It's
Yeah,
just
they did that on
different
purpose.
story,
Exactly. Yeah.
I really do think that they're going to do a lot more crossovers between the live action things, and I think that you're right that it's going to end up in some sort of.
And they're also going
event.
to do a female lead animated Spider-Man,
Yeah.
Yep.
Spider-Man movie, which I'm
Silk,
so
right?
excited for that.
Silk.
I can't wait for
Is that who it is? Silk. Is that right?
Silk is one of the live action shows they're doing.
Yep. Okay.
They're
Shows.
doing
Okay. Yeah.
Madam Web.
Yeah.
Spider-Man
Madam Web
Law.
is going to
Yeah.
be. Oh, and Spider. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
It sounds like Nicolas Cage might be coming back.
I've heard
God, I
that.
fucking
I've
hope
heard
so.
that. I've heard he's more than willing to reprise his role for it.
But yeah, real quick, just get you up to date. 6 Oscars we're doing.
Okay.
Best sound, best visual effects, production design, score, film editing. Okay, so 5.
The fact that one
Okay.
score over what year was that again?
2021.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, me and Dylan
Eh.
both agree Batman should have won.
Yeah. I was gonna
Yeah.
say the fact that
Yeah.
it went over Batman
Yeah.
is a little.
But let's give our scores. If I could give this movie more than a 10,
I say, are we
would
doing it
be-
at a 10 or at a
5.
5?
He does 10.
I'm gonna do 25 just to be that guy.
I mean, that's what I want to go this high too. Absolutely.
Sorry, I had one more detail that I wanted to throw out there. That I
Oh,
wanted
I'm
to talk
sorry,
about.
Dylan.
No,
We're all
One of
pointing
the-
fingers at each other. Here.
one of the small details that they had in Into the Spider-Verse was the fact that Miles, out of all the other Spider people, he was running at half the frame rate.
Yep. Well, that's how
And
they
then-
did the
and
first
then-
one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in this one, I felt like up until he followed Gwen through the portal to go to HQ and stuff. To go to Mumbai.
Mhm.
Before that, I felt like he was running at a higher FPS than everybody else. He just
He was
seemed-
very silky.
Yeah, he was very smoothly animated,
Yeah.
especially compared to his mom. Which, like, being a spider person, of course, he's going to be
Right.
a little
Right.
bit
He's gonna be
faster, it
more
makes sense.
tuned. Right.
But I felt like he slowed down once he got to Mumbai.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they lowered his FPS to to lower, and then it was always at his weakest points.
Mhm.
I that's how I personally feel. Like, because he was a little choppier. quote
Right,
unquote.
right.
Like, obviously he's supposed to be choppy. He was a little choppier during the fight with Spot.
Mhm.
But otherwise, during the whole first half hour of the movie, he was really smooth.
Yeah.
It was just super noticeable to my eye, and I couldn't tell, and I'm sure that we'll end up getting more answers from the team behind it later, confirming or denying that kind of thing.
Mhm.
But I thought it was interesting, and I also think that it's really interesting that we see that the first 20 minutes of the movie, you say about 20 minutes of Gwen's world, right? The first 20 minutes, it's such a different animation
Mhm.
versus Miles' world, and
Or
we
even
also
Love in New York.
yeah,
Right.
and we
That reminded me
see.
of Coruscant underneath.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that it's interesting that when Gwen went to Miles' world, it was the same.
Yeah. She
exact
does
animation.
match a little bit.
Yeah, they look
Like she's
the
very.
exact.
She's
fucking
not as
same.
watercolor. Given they have to kind of translate from the first movie.
Well, yeah,
Where they
but-
didn't really have her world. I mean, they could have. They've done so much. I mean, in the first, it's really interesting. If you go back and watch Into the Spider-Verse, when they show Miles' spider, the one that's out of in the wrong dimension, it does glitch,
yeah.
which is really interesting because that means they knew from the first part. I didn't either, but going back and watching this, I was like, they hinted at it being from a different universe this whole time.
Yeah,
Especially seeing as how he got bit right when the collider was going off.
right.
It makes sense.
It does.
And they knew that from the start. They glitched it. And it's something that I should have caught right away because of how, through this, you'll learn that I'm the exact, antithesis of Dyllan when they go. Because you guys have talked on we've all talked before about how we watch movies. And he's very much an enjoyer. He doesn't like having a movie to where you have to sit and think about
You
it.
overanalyze
I
everything.
overanalyze. I love movies that make me, because I predict a lot of endings to movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hold on my record. My mom can attest to this. I predicted Sixth Sense, the ending of that. I predicted he was dead the whole time, because of the color red in the movie. If you know, you know. But yeah, so it was really cool to see that they planned that from the start.
Yeah.
And then two things after what you had said that reminded me. It took 2 watchings to notice this because obviously I wouldn't be able to notice this the first watch. But when we have Gwen drumming and it speeds up really fast and it flashes through a lot of different scenes,
Yeah.
all the 90% of those scenes, I thought originally were just random scenes that like were showing a little bit more of her backstory. They're from the actual movie.
Okay.
One of them is you see her and Miles when he's invisible, when they're face to face.
Yeah.
By the way, beautiful shot composition, just saying.
Yeah.
But you see that. You also see her cradling her Peter, the lizard, when he's dying. So stuff like that, that obviously I'm not going to notice the first time around because I'd never seen it before.
Right.
But going back and seeing it with him, I was like, we saw those scenes in the movie. And then a second time, it's not super important. It's just really cool. I noticed it the second time again. For context, Miguel is fighting Miles on the train, and it's to the point to where he's glitching on the train, and Miguel is in that moment where he's like, "You're not supposed to be here. You're an anomaly. You aren't supposed to be Spider-Man. You're fake. You don't deserve to be Spider-Man." You know, Miles is really at that snapping point to where he's like, "Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing."
Yeah.
It's right before that when he glitches. It's really interesting and it's hard to catch, but at least for a frame, when he glitches, he actually glitches and it shows him wearing his Halloween Spider-Man costume where he's got the eye hole, like the one he buys from Stan Lee.
Yeah.
He's wearing that one. And I thought it was perfect because that whole movie, until he gets his own suit, he's sitting there thinking, do I really deserve to be Spider-Man? Because that's the whole arc of the first movie.
Right.
To where once you can see that part of him poking out a little bit when he's glitching, it glitches and it shows what he's thinking.
Sorry. While you're talking, I just remember what one of my other.
This movie,
we will rate it. I swear.
This
I
movie
swear.
has so much stuff that we could go on a 4-hour episode. It's incredible.
Yeah. The last thing that I want to talk about was when he's talking to who he thinks is his mom.
Yeah.
And
Is it the jacket?
no, it wasn't the jacket. It's what he says to her.
Okay.
He's like, "Mom, I met more people like me, and I thought that you were right."
Mhm.
He was like, they came out to get me. He was like, they rejected me. He was like, they tried to throw me away and all this other stuff. He was like, and I beat them.
He has a little dark coming
I beat
through.
all of them. He was like, they couldn't stop me.
Well,
And I was like,
Anakin.
right.
well, I was like, holy crap. I was
Well,
like, he's actually right.
now
I was like,
imagine.
he's proven that he's better than everybody that chased him in that fucking universe.
I
Well, now
thought that was his
imagine-
real mom, but then when I found out it wasn't,
Yeah.
Well, I knew
there were a
something was
few
off.
things. There were a few things. One of the biggest things that clued me in that he and I both picked up on
Yeah.
was you see Miles go to his big puffy coat and his hoodie underneath throughout the most of the movie.
Yeah, and it was a joke.
Yeah, and in his universe, it's like blue and gray or blue and dark green or something like that, like a really
Yeah,
dark color and red.
Yeah.
In Earth 42, in the end, the one main thing that clued me in was that his hoodie switched, and now the hoodie is purple, and his overcoat is dark and like it's like a I want to say puke green.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
noticed that.
Like olive.
So where I was like, he's not in his universe. And then I also found out, I was like, okay, because the way I like to predict things is I like to think of cool twists that I could see them doing.
Yeah.
One of the twists that I could see them doing that I nailed was the Miles of that universe being Prowler.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
that would be
I
sick,
figured
and I
that
can see
out.
that. Yep.
I figured out probably.
It was the side eye from Uncle Aaron for
Yep,
me.
yep,
That's
yep.
where I was like, yeah, no. I was like, there's a reason why Miles hasn't shown up yet.
I think it's when
Right.
he said about shaving the dreads is when I realized.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just felt like,
Because it was that comment that was like, oh yeah, there is a Miles in this universe that's not our Miles. He's
Yeah.
not just switching places, so he's somewhere. I bet he's Prowler. And sure enough.
Well, I like the color palette swap that they did, where it was a lot colder on Earth 42 than
Yes.
on Miles's universe.
Yeah.
Like when they've shown the rooms, Miles's room has always been like warmer.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it'll typically be in shadows when you see it, but it's at least like a warmer blue.
yeah, it feels
but-
cold because there's no Spider-Man there.
Yeah, with this one it was a lot darker. Like so, like
It was
my
like
spider
Gotham.
sense was kind of going off for a second there.
Yeah.
It
I was like,
Gotham.
there's something wrong here.
Well, and there's two interesting things about Miguel too that I picked up on. So the first one was obviously they're going to play way more into it in the next movie because it was just a small thing they added that was very obviously like a cue into what's going to be. He injects himself.
Yes.
I feel like a lot of people are going to think that's him, how he got his powers, is he injects himself with powers.
Right.
I think what's going on is we see in his fight with Vulture in the very beginning, his head kind of morphs, and you see him as he fights Miles and he gets more aggressive. He gets fangs instead of regular teeth. I think that what that does is I think it subsides side effects to his powers.
Well, I think in the comics it did both.
Did it?
Because I have the first issue, and
Do you?
I don't remember it, but I think that's what happened.
Okay.
I think the serum messed with him,
Mm-hmm.
and it set off this chain reaction.
Yeah.
But it also keeps it under control.
Yeah.
Like, that's how he got his powers originally. But
Gotcha. I would say that's definitely going to come into play more often. And then the other thing was it took some thinking because it's something that it was there, but to really understand the gravity of it is really interesting to me. So, if you remember, Miguel tries to mess his own canon events, and he tries to replace himself that dies in that universe.
Yeah.
That universe collapses. What's interesting is what that implies is Miguel's death is a canon event in that universe.
Right.
So what's interesting is that implies that he has some relationship with that Peter in that universe. What could that be? That his death in that universe is a canon event for that Spider-Man.
I don't know, because I know in the comic they were never attached.
Right, which is so interesting because it's not going to be some random schmo that him replacing and has this. It's not going to be that there's two universes or two Spider-Mans in that universe because that's not how it's, because it has the same exact effect as I don't remember his name, but when Miles saves the detective in Mabotten, yeah. So it's just really interesting to see what connection that Miguel had to that Peter.
Right.
I actually, Gavin can attest to this. I actually made a prediction going into the movie, and I was half right. I predicted why Miguel was going to be so pissed off at Miles.
Yes, yeah. When you were mentioning it, I was like,
it was a slight variant. It was a slight variant because my prediction was that his dad was going to die in the movie.
Yeah.
Or was supposed to die in the movie.
Yeah.
And that Miles is going to find a way to save his dad in the movie, and then Miguel was going to be like, "What the fuck, dude? Your dad was supposed to fucking die. He still has to fucking die."
And he ends up
what the
killing
hell?
him.
I got that from the trailer. I figured it out.
Yeah, and then Captain, he saves Captain Singh. It's basically the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn. I was almost right on the mark. I was like, okay. I was like, let's see if this happens in the next movie.
And then my final big tinfoil hat prediction for the entire story is that, so if I'm not mistaken, Madam Web comes out after part 2, but before the final Spider-Verse movie. Because if you remember, we have 4 Spider-Verse movies now that they split the second one into 2 parts.
Oh, I thought it was just supposed to be a third one.
No. Because the one that we just watched was originally going to be the part 1 and part 2 were originally going to be one movie, but they split it apart.
Right.
So we actually have 4 Spider-Verse movies in total. No, it's just going to be 4 total Spider-Verse movies. And if I remember correctly, like I said, Madam Web goes in between. So I think what they're going to do is they're going to somehow build up to Madam Web. And then after Madam Web, what would be really cool is something they could do is there's a lot of evil Spider-Man variants out there.
Yeah.
So where it'd be really cool to see them clue them in, like there's a Superior Spider-Man. So Doc Ock is in Spider-Man's mind. They mind switched and he killed his own body. So Peter Parker's like spider consciousness is kind of in Doc Ock to compel him to do good, but at the same time, Doc Ock is trying to like not do good and abuse his powers.
There's also the Spider Doppelganger or whatever, where it's like an actual spider.
Yep, there's Doppelganger, where he's an actual spider. There's Patton Parnell, who in his world, I can't remember the actual Earth, but in his world, Ben actually was alive and he was physically abused by him.
Okay.
And he actually ends up being a serial killer. Something else.
Doesn't he like go around trying to steal Spider-Man powers?
No, that's another one.
Okay.
Another one would be Ben Reilly. Would be really interesting to flesh out. I know he was really well done, but I feel like if they kept him, it's really interesting because eventually in Spider-Man comics he becomes a villain.
Yeah.
Because he's so like that's why he's so like in his own thoughts is because he's conflicted about being a clone of Peter Parker. Another one would be
was he actual Peter Parker?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Another one could be Zombie Spider-Man, which I don't think needs any introduction.
No.
And then my absolute favorite thing they could do is introduce Ghost Spider, not Spider-Gwen Ghost Spider, because she goes by Ghost Spider.
Right.
But the one in which he has the Spirit of Vengeance from Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Oh, with the flame skull from Spider-Man PS4.
Yes.
Yes.
Because that's so interesting. If you don't know, Uncle Ben doesn't die again. So he doesn't really learn that lesson, and instead he ends up building up enough. Like he just ends up. I can't remember exactly what it is because I haven't read it specifically. That's another disclaimer. I do a lot of research, but I haven't actually read a lot of comics myself. I just know a lot of the storyline. I know a lot of the stuff from reviews and stuff like that. So I do know my stuff, but at the same time, I haven't actually read most of it. So in that one, I don't remember how it happens, but he ends up being able to get the ability to draw in other Spider-Men from their universes, kills them, and absorbs their power to become more powerful.
Okay.
And that would be something that I think would be awesome to see play out.
I don't know if they would do that because obviously Spider-Verse is still PG.
Right. It is a little dark. It is a little dark. It is a little
Always see
dark.
Toby die.
Right. But yeah,
I think the third movie could be that miniseries, I think.
I could see that too.
I still think of Venom
Yep.
switching between live action and
And that's another thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would 100% be down to just not do that because it's not a really well thing and just do a symbiote. And that was another thing too, to where like when we saw that little dark inkling come out of Miles, where like I beat him, no one's gonna touch us now. I can defeat all of them. I can beat them. Like he had a very like he was very a little dark coming out of him.
Yeah.
Imagine if he got the Venom symbiote now.
Oh shoot.
Dude.
Oh my god.
Like, could you
Everyone's fucked.
imagine? Because it's a canon event.
Yeah,
Given
yeah.
he may be exempt from canon, like we said before, but assuming he's not, because Uncle Aaron did die.
Yes.
But assuming he's not, imagine he gets a Venom symbiote now of all times. And that storyline would have to be the little band that Gwen put together, trying to like calm him down and show him that, like, dude, you got to take a chill pill. Like, could you imagine?
It's going to be interesting when the sequel comes out next year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Dyllan. You can get more than a 10 if you want to on the movie because you love it that much if you wanted to. But what would, I
15.
just say, yeah.
15.
What we're
Like,
trying to say is, folks,
Yeah.
it's spectacular.
You need to see it.
Go
You need
check
to
out.
see it.
Please watch it again. If you've seen it the first time, I don't care if you watched it the first time. Go watch it again. Tell me, guys. Let me know when you're gonna go see it the second time. I want to see it a second time with either of you guys. Please let me know.
I mean,
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know
phenomenal.
when I'm going to, but man, there's so much money that's going to be.
It's incredible.
Going to see it again.
It's so good.
I could rewatch this
And
movie
it-
every fucking day.
Usually IMAX isn't something you always have to splurge for because I mean, it's a lot of money per ticket.
Yeah.
I feel like Oppenheimer's gonna be one of the ones that is a definite push.
Yeah. But dude, watch Spider-Verse 2 in IMAX. You won't regret it. It's so
Watch it in
good.
any theater. It's
Right in any theater. Period.
Yeah, it's one of the greatest comic movies of all time.
Right. But if you have the chance, don't pass up going to IMAX. It's incredible.
After you're finished with your guys' rankings, I got one more note real quick.
Ratings. Yeah. I already gave my rate. It's more than a 10.
Yeah, I keep trying to come up with a number, and then I think, nope, it's better than that. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say like 40 out of 25, and then
yeah, I'm on board with that.
So, one last point before we get to our rankings, real quick. They put the pre-order up for Blu-ray on Amazon Friday.
buying it now or
It's sold out.
getting.
Yeah,
oh
yeah,
my.
yeah, okay, yeah,
Seriously?
I saw that.
6 hours.
Yeah, it said add a cart, and
Wow.
it said buy now, and it said temporarily out of stock.
Yeah.
I was like,
within
the
6
buy
hours.
now was
Wow.
That thing went
really?
as fast
Yeah.
as PS5s did. Goodness.
Yeah,
Yeah, 6 hours. Because it went on sale at
fucking
noon,
insane.
and by like 6:30 it was out of stock.
That means I
Are
need to
you
really put in my
kidding me?
pre-order for the Spider-Man 2 game because if I don't get that, in
It's only
within
been
minutes-
out for just the 3 days, and it's already sold out on 4K
That's
or
incredible.
Blu-ray.
this is one
That's
of the best movies
crazy.
of all fucking time.
Absolutely,
It makes sense.
it's got to be, yeah.
They'll get more in stock soon.
Oh yeah, right.
Their entire stock that they pre-ordered was sold out already.
Maybe our next giveaway should be when the part 2 comes out.
Surprise!
Yeah,
we got one. I'm pretty sure the FBI is looking for us on this one.
Right. Yeah. May or may not have killed somebody for it. Don't ask questions.
that would be a good. What if we gave away a 4K copy of Across the Spider-Verse eventually?
I might steal it.
That would be really cool. All right. I think it's time to do a ranking, and I think Dyllan should go first because I got a feeling that Matthew's ranking is going to be much worse.
Yeah, I guess.
But,
I'm gonna go last with us because you guys are gonna hate me.
Okay.
I'll go third just so that
Yeah,
because I'm interested to see how. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm interested to see how his.
I think
plays off.
me, Dyllan, and Gavin. I think we all agree what's in last place. I got a feeling Matthew is not one of those people, and I'm good. And
No.
I'm going.
He's already said
if
it's
not
in second to last
place.
rather than last, which I can respect.
Okay, so for me, after the very last one, it gets drastically harder. It doesn't really increase in difficulty up until I'll say the first Spider-Man. That's when it really gets hard.
Yep.
That's
but
true. That same
starting-
thing for me too.
Starting number 16, Morbius.
There you go.
It's got to be at the bottom of my fucking list.
Oh,
it's got
totally.
out of all 16 movies on my list, it's nowhere fucking near as good.
Did you watch it, John?
I watched it. I watched it on Wikipedia. I mean, I saw it on Wikipedia.
You watched it on Wikipedia.
I meant to say I looked at Wikipedia when I found I was in the official Spider-Man movie. I was just thinking, oh crap.
Just watch it.
Yeah,
Just
you have
watch
to
it.
watch it.
I did watch it. I'll let you know
It's
where
enjoyable.
where my ranking is.
It's enjoyable. But it's just like I feel like I could.
mid 2000 superhero movie.
I enjoyed it about as much as I think I ever will, and I've stated my issues with it. I think that the worst fucking line in that entire movie was when he goes to that underground lab where all like the meth cookers are and shit,
I know what
and
you're talking about.
where they're like, "Man, who are you?" And he's like, "I am Venom. Now get the fuck out."
Yeah, it was corny.
Like I was like, really?
I
was
did not
like,
catch that.
I was like, you could have like made any other attempt at linking it to the Venomverse.
That
Right.
wasn't
Any
fun.
other fucking attempt. Like, I'm glad to know that that's where it is. Like, I'm glad, but you could have done anything fucking else other than being like, I am Venom.
well, and it
That's
would have
so
been
fucking stupid.
and it would have been
I'm
better
sorry.
even
I'm
if they
just-
wanted to even if they were dead set on including some kind of line. It would have been way better if they were like, "What are you? Like the crooks or the meth dealers? Like, is this that Venom guy they were talking about? Like stuff like that."
What they did with the fucking Spider-Man mural.
Yeah,
What they did with that, they could have done with Venom.
yeah.
Like they could have done that. They could have had like a newspaper sitting out where they talked about.
I'm just
like,
surprised.
Events of Let There
I'm
Be
just
Carnage.
surprised there were a lot
Like,
more people that liked this movie than critics did. That surprised me. It had the 76 popcorn freshman audiences, and I'm over there thinking,
They're memeing.
okay.
They're memeing. I gotta say.
But yeah, easily last place 16. For you, what do you got at number 15?
15 is Raimi's Spider-Man 3. Yeah. I felt like that would
That's
be.
funny. That is hilarious.
I felt like that would be an interesting take compared to a lot of the other movies that have come out. But like I said, like after Morbius, it gets a bit harder for me.
Yeah.
I still thoroughly enjoyed Spider-Man 3. There's a lot of cringe stuff in it. We know exactly why the reasons were. It
Right.
was because of the studio. It wasn't because of Raimi. It wasn't because of any other person that was part of that film.
yeah.
It was because of the fucking studio pushing Raimi. Because Raimi was like, listen, I need a lot more time. They were like, no, you have 90 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, so have fun. And they tried cutting it down from that too.
Yeah,
It's like, you
have
gotta
fun.
be fucking kidding me. No, Spider-Man 3 did a lot of great things. I don't know. Like it was
It's definitely the
enjoyable.
weakest of the trilogy. Absolutely.
It's by far the fucking weakest. Next is Civil War, which is insane. I know. I've never been a big fan of Civil War. Because I'm a
How did I
diehard
for-
fan
I-
of the
I
original
forgot-
comic run.
I forgot you had this one
I can
so
respect
low, and I'm
that.
thinking, oh
Yeah.
So,
god,
like they did use the name of one of the most famous comic runs of all time,
And they kept the
not
basic
really
premise.
right.
but
they
it
kept
just-
the premise of the Avengers fight each other.
mine is
Yeah.
way higher than yours.
Yeah, I feel like mine is one of, like when you look at like OG comic to adaptation, it's exactly where it needs to be. It's
Yep.
exactly where it fucking needs to be.
I
It's a
can see
good
that.
movie, and it adapts enough to resemble the original event, but that's it.
I'm grabbing the water.
Yes.
yeah. I'll take.
I was gonna say please.
I'll definitely take water
Oh.
too. All right, but anyway,
Yeah. So number 14 is Civil War. Next up is Amazing Spider-Man 2. I liked Amazing Spider-Man 2 a lot. Honestly, I really do wish that we could get a third one. I think that one deserves too much hate. I will.
I
agree
agree
with a
with
lot
you.
of criticisms.
I think
One-
it's very underrated.
Yeah, my biggest criticism about it is the fact that they were trying to do too much in too short of a film.
Yeah.
They crammed in what, like 3 villains, almost 4.
Well, and that's just, if you remember, that's the same exact criticism a lot of people had with Spider-Man 3 too. Was
Yeah,
they tried
yeah.
to cram too many people in a 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
220, both of them.
I just there was a lot of really good things in there. A lot of honestly, Andrew Garfield's best performance as Spider-Man from that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It left a desire to be more in there, and I'm glad that a lot more people are joining the train of, man, it wasn't a bad movie.
Right.
Like it was good. It could have been better. Like
I
I'm
loved
glad
it.
that a lot
I
more
did
people
love it the
jumped
first
onto
time.
it.
Absolutely.
And honestly, I think that's the power of No Way Home. No Way Home made people appreciate his Spider-Man a lot more.
Absolutely.
And so I really hope that they manage to draw something up where Andrew Garfield's like, hell yeah, I'm all fucking in.
He's already
Because
said that
he
he'd
is
like to
not
come
fucking
back.
done with it.
No, he's not.
He's not. We need more of him. I think that the online praise of him, and I'll move on to the next one. It's just I have a lot of feelings about Andrew Garfield.
Well, it's Hayden Christensen.
Huh?
It's very similar to how Hayden
Yes,
Christensen is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that he's
Yeah.
seen more of the
Yeah.
love from the fans for it, and I think that he's super appreciative. And there was the meta things about like how Toby was like, no, I need you to recognize that you are amazing.
Mhm.
Like no, seriously, like you're fucking great. And he was like, no, I'm not really. And he was like, no, I need you to acknowledge this.
Yeah.
He's like, you are amazing. He was like, don't feel otherwise. He was like, you are fucking great. And I love the meta on that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, it's just fucking phenomenal. So that was number 13 for me. Number 12 is Let There Be Carnage. I felt like that could have been better if it were a longer movie. Like, I love Andy Serkis. I think he did great with that movie. Same for Tom Hardy because Tom Hardy got a lot.
You
more
and I
involved in
are
the production.
very close on the rankings here.
We might start diverging here soon. I feel like mine is spread out really well.
Okay.
I
Gotcha.
feel like I stacked mine pretty fairly. No, I feel like if that movie would have been an extra 20 to 25 minutes longer, I feel like it could have been a lot higher in my rankings.
Gotcha.
Just I really loved
like
it.
an hour and a half, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
they're
an
really
hour,
short.
26 minutes.
Yeah, they're really
Yeah.
short.
I originally I didn't like Woody Harrelson's casting, but I was convinced during that one.
I liked him. I think it was a really good casting for him.
Okay, I was like that's awesome.
I still want to see it.
Was it coming off of Zombieland?
It's
Because
not-
I
it's not
watched
bad.
Zombieland not too far ahead of watching Venom 2. Coming off of that, I could actually see it happening. And I think he did pretty well on it.
I think so.
Yeah.
It was definitely a different version of Cletus that we've gotten,
Yes.
but still paying a lot of homage to the
Yes,
Absolutely.
very much
Yes.
so.
But yeah, Let There Be Carnage. Number 11 is Homecoming, which I'm a big lover of the
Okay.
MCU Spider-Man. In my opinion, he's the best Peter Parker Spider-Man combo.
Absolutely.
I feel like out of the two Spider-Man trilogies that we've gotten, unfortunately, I wouldn't be saying this if we had gotten a third Andrew Garfield movie. I feel like out of all the trilogies that we've gotten, he has the best trilogy. Because it's the most consistent.
Yeah.
We have a complete progression all the way across. Like it is
Absolutely.
him maturing across these three movies,
Yes.
along with all the other MCU movies. It's just fucking great.
Yeah. Well, and I think we can.
go ahead.
Tom's the best combo.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I
Toby's
think.
the best Peter. Andrew's
Yeah.
the best Spider-Man.
Honestly, I think
By
we,
fucking
as long
far.
as that's literally the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I feel like that's
not
the
only
consensus.
I would say not only we, but I think every Spider-Man fan can agree that, like you said, Andrew's the best Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire was the best Peter, and Tom is a really, really good mix of the two.
Yeah.
So he doesn't
yeah.
stand out as one better version of one or the other, but he's a very good mix. He can.
Yeah,
he really
yeah.
knows how to mix it.
Yeah.
Plus, it helps that he's actually high school age.
Yeah.
All right. So.
Well, he
all right.
was.
Yeah.
So Homecoming at 11.
Yeah. Number 10 is Infinity War.
Ooh.
I wasn't ranking this based on the actual movies themselves.
You're ranking it.
At least not with the MCU ones.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
With Spider-Man moments. That's what I want. It kind of makes me think re-guess where I put Endgame, but
Yeah.
I digress.
I don't feel so
Um,
good, Mr. Stark.
No, I don't have a whole lot of comments about Infinity War. I think that he was really good in it for what he was.
Yeah.
It showed him. Like coming off the heels of Homecoming. It still showed him as a more immature Spider-Man and like in over his head. Like, oh man, I should have stayed home.
I need to re-rank then because I didn't think of that.
I feel like all the Spider-Man moments were great. I'm still not a big fan of the Iron Spider suit. Still not a big fan of it. Honestly, I would
I
have
just
preferred
wish-
a more classic.
I would have.
Well-
I would have liked the Iron Spider Mark II, is what it is. The
Yeah.
red and gold one.
Yeah.
Yeah, or Mark III maybe.
Which that was planned by Tony.
Mhm.
Like he was going to go with that design. So it really bums me out that we didn't get something like that. I would have been. I'm a huge critique on the MCU constantly changing suits every
Yeah.
fucking movie.
Right.
I would have been fine if something would have changed with the Iron Spider.
Well, and it's the
between
same
Infinity War
situation,
and
right? And it's the same situation too. To where in the comics, that's what he's given by Tony Stark.
Yeah.
And I think it was it Civil War that he got it from
Yeah.
Tony Stark? Yeah.
That's where he got his airport suit. That's
Yeah.
where he ended up getting teased the Iron Spider-Man suit in Homecoming.
Right.
Yeah. No, it was. Yeah. I don't know, but beyond that, I don't have a lot of thoughts about his about Spider-Man. And
You can hear his
there just
whole
wasn't a
thing
lot of love.
when he gets to the MCU rankings. So yeah.
Yeah.
Number 9 was the first Raimi Spider-Man movie. Crazy that's a little lower on my list, I will say. However,
There's a lot of OG
compared to
that says
everything
the
else.
classic is the best one.
yes, and
I
like
disagree
while
with
I
that.
do respect that, at this point after getting No Way Home and Across the Spider-Verse, I don't agree with it.
I still don't.
Yeah.
I
Think,
respect it, I just don't agree with it.
I don't think that Spider-Man 1 is the best in his trilogy. Even.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
There's not a whole lot to say.
Yeah.
Everybody knows
Number
that
2
first Spider-Man
easily
movie
is the best one. Absolutely.
There's just not a whole lot to say about that one. Like I love Sam Raimi. He is one of the big reasons why Multiverse of Madness was my number 3 now.
I love that movie.
Yeah, I
loved
fucking
it.
love Multiverse of Madness.
There's so much hate for it. I
yeah,
loved it.
I don't get it. That's a whole discussion.
Yeah,
I can't
yep,
not
yep,
get
yep,
into that.
yeah.
Number 9, the first Raimi Spider-Man. Number 8 is the first Amazing Spider-Man. Again, I fucking love Andrew Garfield. I think he did a great job. He just really encapsulates Spider-Man. Really well. Again, not a whole lot of comments. You know the movie, you should know the love.
Exactly.
Number 7, the first Venom movie.
Wow.
Yeah, it
You
is.
put that above Spider-Man 1. That's
I liked
interesting.
it. I like this. I like the Venom movies. I definitely think that it was better than the sequel, which I feel like that is a common consensus that they're about on par, if not like just shifting.
When
a
I
little
first
bit.
heard about it, I rolled my eyes thinking, "Oh, you gotta be kidding me! Really?
Well,
A
well,
Venom?"
I was actually really on board with it because of Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Tom Hardy, like I originally didn't think that Tom Hardy was going to be like Venom. I thought he was going to be Agent Venom because I remember one of the first set picks that we got was him in a vest.
Yeah.
Like with the tactical team all around. Honestly, I like how realistic it was because he gets shittier and shittier over
Well,
the course of
and
the movie.
remember, Agent
Like, he
Venom
just-
is actually Flash.
Yeah, I know.
After the
I just-
military.
I didn't know if they would like adapt that.
Yeah,
Like-
that
like,
makes sense. Right.
I felt like they could have gone for the more tactical look and then transitioned
Sure.
later.
Yep.
It's just he typically plays like a sort of Marine-looking character.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't always play a Marine, but like he has that physique and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw that. No, it's a good movie. Number 6, Far From Home. It hurt me to put Far From Home here. I fucking love Far From Home. Anybody that
do
argues
too.
with me on Far From Home, I will fucking go after it. No, seriously. Far From Home is one of the best Spider-Man movies that we've ever fucking gotten.
Absolutely.
It really is.
I can see the argument for that at
it's,
least.
The only critique that I can really give that movie is how often he takes off his mask. Which like you can provide an explanation to
And the
almost every single
cameo
fucking
is
point.
fabulous when J. Jonah Jameson
Yeah,
showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lost my fucking mind. That was the cliffhanger that fucking left me. Like I like leading up to No Way Home, I was like, it cannot get here soon enough. I was like, I fucking need this now. I was like, this has to be injected now. I was like, I need to fucking know what happened. Far From Home just was fucking great.
It is.
I still think that everybody that looked at it that knew who Mysterion was, or Mysterio, not Mysterion, South Park.
Mysterio.
Everybody that knew who Mysterio was,
Brain fart.
a lot of them still fucking thought that he was from an alternate reality.
Right.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Like it's not
You
a
know who he is and you fucking think that?
Right. It's not a mystery. Like, come on now.
Yeah, like he is the villain. Of course he's gonna be lying.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, are you fucking kidding me? No, y'all are fucking stupid.
But Far From Home is definitely an amazing movie.
Yeah, for seriously. Going to number 5, the precursor to it, Endgame. Endgame, just like we've talked about it before.
Yeah.
Great moment. I know one of the original writers for Spider-Man had a huge issue with him in this one because he said Spider-Man would never kill.
Mm-hmm.
And while he is right, Peter Parker in his right mind would never
I was
kill.
unaware of that.
Yeah, no, he
Yeah.
hated it for that reason. He was like, no, this is not Spider-Man. And he's like, no, you're fucking right. Like, normally Peter wouldn't do that. But I think that Peter is also realizing there is no way out of this without killing. This was a last resort. Like, he in Homecoming, He was like, no. He's like, I don't want to do in kill mode.
Right.
He's like, I'm not going to kill anybody. Like, he set his precedent. Like, I'm not fucking doing this.
Yeah.
So, to go into endgame and for him to activate insta kill, like, obviously he's doing that as a last resort. He recognizes the danger. He realizes what's at stake. He realizes he cannot go, like, he can't pull back his punches.
Yeah.
He just has to fucking go through. And I still feel like he pulled back his punches a little bit.
Yeah.
But that was only because he was holding on to the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Endgame, number 5. Number 4, Spider-Man 2.
I predicted it was going to be number 4. Yeah.
Because the top 3 are just godly. There's no touching the top 3 for me. Spider-Man 2, just the best of the Raimi trilogy, like we said earlier.
Yes.
And it was the best Spider-Man movie for a long time. Like, I'm not going to say the Andrew Garfield movies were better. If we ever get Amazing Spider-Man 3, that could be better. I don't know.
We'll see.
But it was not this. It was the best Spider-Man movie leading up for.
There's nothing needs to say
20
except it's a phenomenal movie.
Yeah.
Awesome villain.
Yeah.
Awesome action. Him holding on to the train was iconic.
Yeah. I like the Corridor digital art thing, which I'm trying to lay off talking about them after their AI stuff. I like the video that they did recently where it was like Spider-Man if it were realistic, and his arms get like torn off, and so he web shoots from his feet and holds on with his toes.
Yeah,
and he's like doing
it's great.
the Jean-Claude Van Damme pose.
I love it.
Great.
They actually, that was actually used at church a long time ago. Our preacher did a sermon, and he actually used that clip of the train.
I can only guess what it was.
Well, there's a lot.
Honestly,
There
that's
was
a
a lot
really
of
good
biblical
analogy.
imagery, especially
Yeah.
that scene where he's carried by the people in a very Christ-like pose,
And then
even.
the whole, I believe there's a hero in all of them.
Right. There were a lot of religious aspects to that
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, solid movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You can use it across a lot of different mediums, and it fucking works great. Number 3, Into the Spider-Verse.
I was thinking that was
Yep.
number 3.
Yeah. It can't touch number 2, but we know what my number 1 is, and it's not the one that I've been saying on the podcast. No, Into the Spider-Verse, just fucking great.
It
It's
is.
an upset.
It is. I honestly
New number 1.
didn't think that what my number 1 is could be my number 1, but I'm glad to be proven fucking wrong. No, Into the Spider-Verse, great. Like, we all agree, it's a fucking phenomenal movie. It was groundbreaking in its animation.
It is. Absolutely.
Which, coming after, like, the groundbreaking that Pixar did, like, Pixar really pioneered a lot of, like non-traditionally animated movies.
Yes.
So for Into the Spider-Verse to be so groundbreaking, and for it to become one of the best comic book movies of all fucking time, it just...
One of the best animated movies of all time.
Yes. It's amazing. No- God damn it.
One could say spectacular.
Gavin, do I have to start one for you too? Damn it! Shit! We're in the red on that one. Fuck! Alright. Dick, tits, ass, whore. I gotta get it out. When I get into a cussing fit, I have to go through my vocabulary on cussing. Like, I do it all the time in video games. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, if I'm scared and I'm cussing, I'm like, shit, dick, tits, ass, fuck, damn it. Like, whore,
But
shit.
but anyway, Into the Spider-Verse.
Number 2 is No Way Home.
I thought so.
Yep.
I
Yep.
thought
No way
so.
home.
Yep.
It's a
number
perfect
1.
Spider-Man movie. It's a perfect Spider-Man movie.
Yes, it is.
I can't say it's the perfect Spider-Man movie, but it's. I feel like my placement of it is exactly where it fucking needs to be. I feel very strongly on the matter. I can definitely like argue on it. I can definitely hear other opinions, but I feel like the placement that I have of these top 3 are deserved. Like I feel,
deserve, yeah.
Like I feel like that's absolutely where they need to fucking be.
I feel like all our top 4s are going to be the same in just different orders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, it's one of the best MCU movies that we've gotten. Like I said this past time, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is the best MCU movie.
Yep.
And this isn't an MCU episode, like we've said multiple
Yeah.
times.
Right.
Right.
So I'm not going to go into it or explain that. But like No Way Home is by far my favorite MCU movie.
Yeah.
It's just, I feel like it's one of those ones where we have seen, and we have seen Peter getting beaten down. We've seen him at his lowest. We've seen him go through tragedy time and time and time again. But No Way Home, I feel like it only benefited from the fact that they didn't do anything with Uncle Ben. Like, they mentioned him a couple times, but they didn't do anything. So building up his relationship with May to throw her away.
Yep.
Or throw her away, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I don't feel like it was just throwing her away.
Right.
Like, they didn't fridge her to fridge her.
Yeah, she served Uncle Ben's purpose.
She served Uncle Ben's purpose, exactly. And I think, like, one of the best shot, one of the best edited, one of the best written, just one of the best moments, if not the best moment in the entire MCU,
The rooftop scene?
is the rooftop scene when he's standing in the rain.
Yep.
And he's standing in front of the billboard where J.K. Simmons isn't harping on Spider-Man. Like, he's being serious. He's realizing the empathy of the story. Like, it's just, that is one of the hardest moments in the entire MCU, and it's the best moment in the MCU.
That's the best shot scene, I feel.
Yes.
Yeah.
The scene where they're talking about Uncle Ben and stuff is the best scene, though.
I would say so. I could agree with that, at least.
There's also massive respect to them actually using the correct line from the comics.
Yeah.
Instead of what they did for Spider-Man 1 and 2, or Spider-Man and the Amazing Spider-Man,
Yeah.
where they cheated around it a little bit, but they actually
Yeah,
used the
there's-
exact wording from the comics.
Yeah.
And
But
No Way
yeah,
Home.
No Way Home, amazing. But we
Yeah.
know what number one is.
Yeah, I go on with No Way Home for fucking ever.
Yeah.
But number one, Across the Spider-Verse, baby. Like,
Yeah.
We're definitely going to talk about that in the New Year's episode again.
We got it. It's top 10 of the year for fucking sure.
Absolutely.
And we have a lot of bangers coming out this year.
Yeah.
All right.
All
right.
Across the Spider-Verse, sorry.
It's okay.
Across the Spider-Verse, it's the perfect Spider-Man movie.
It is.
Like, and considering the fact that it's a sequel,
yeah,
like that's just fucking insane. My jaw was dropped the entire fucking movie. I don't think that it's ever going to be picked up, no matter how many times I rewatch that movie. It's just there's so much detail in it. There's so much love. It's when they were saying that it's a movie about Miles and Gwen.
Mhm.
I wasn't quite sure what they meant by that, but honestly, I fucking loved it. That was one of the things I wanted to mention on our review earlier. Was that the way that they handled Gwen?
Oh man,
Like, fleshing Gwen out a lot more in this movie. Best fucking choice of the movie.
Yeah.
Just the fucking best.
Absolutely.
It's just amazing. Also, I almost shit my pants when Gwen was falling and he shot off the web to catch her.
Bro.
I was like, no! I was like, no! I was like, it can't happen! Not now! I was like, if it snaps again, I'm done! I'm walking out! And I'm walking straight back in.
That's what I was like with MJ and No Way Home.
yes,
Yeah, I
yes.
They handled that so fucking perfectly.
The fact that
was such a
he
good
was the
payoff.
one to catch her.
Yes.
And the look
Yes.
on his face, it's like, it's safe. It's
Yes.
not happening again.
That was
When we
his
see him
redemption
learn-
in his eyes.
Right, when we see him learn from that mistake, he didn't web her. He used himself to catch her, not a web. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so great. All right, I'm gonna okay, but people, we apologize that the episode's a little too long, so I'm gonna go really quickly.
There was no
as I
way
could.
that this
Yeah, there's
wasn't
no
gonna
way
be
we
long.
could.
Yeah,
I
this
mean,
was gonna be a
we
lot.
still have
Yeah,
40
I know.
different things to talk about with Spider-Verse,
Yeah.
across the
Yeah,
Spider-Verse.
I know.
Like, there's so much
Okay,
things to
so
catch.
I'm gonna get to my rankings real quick. I want to do a rant on Morbius at number 16, but I can't do that now. But I'm just gonna say real quickly, it was okay. Villain was silly, but the end credits scene, while it wasn't terrible, was just pathetic. That was the most pathetic credit scene, and the movie is just forgettable. The Tom Holland movies are way better, and Matthew knows it. But we'll get to that in a moment. 15, Spider-Man 3, which it's so funny that we both had the same ranking, 16-15. That's so funny. Now it's going to be kind of different. 14, Venom. Like I said, I rolled my eyes at first when I heard the film was actually coming out, and I was just thinking, you gotta be kidding me. Really? This film was coming out? It was surprisingly great. I loved the film. I was surprised I actually loved the film. Number 13, The Amazing Spider-Man, which I did love that one. Definitely deserve a lot more appreciation. Very underrated.
The first one?
2 is over that one.
It is. Yeah, I personally love The Amazing Spider-Man too. Gwen Stacy's death aside, which I'm still not a fan of.
Shut up. Shut up. We told you off on the
I
MCU
know,
episode about this
I know,
one.
the canon event.
But
Yeah.
but I love the movie for what it was. But Venom, Let There Be Carnage at number 11, which, by the way, best movie title ever, by the way. I love that title. Let There Be Carnage. I love the sequel. It's really great. Top 10 is where it gets tough because you got some OG movies that I personally think like best of the best. The original Spider-Man Sam Raimi movie comes at number 10.
Yeah.
It used to be number 1 for many Spider-Man fans. Not this time. But it's still a fantastic movie. I personally think some of the CGI doesn't hold up.
2002.
Yeah, but still, it's a fantastic comic book movie, and it saved the comic book movie genre after comic book movies were a joke. Hello, Batman and Robin. But
X-Men
Still fucking
had
upset
a
about
step in that too, though.
that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
X-Men did.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Aside from
But
Deadpool.
number 9, we can all agree, Spider-Man 2 easily better than the first Spider-Man. No question about it. Spider-Man 2 is
It's
definitely
kind of crazy that that's lower on your list.
Well, that's because I thought that the newer Spider movies are the best ones, which leads to number 8 on
I respect it.
which leads to number 8 on the list. Spider-Man: Homecoming. Now, at first, I thought Spider-Man 2 was the best one, but however, each Spider-Man movie that keeps coming out, it keeps getting better and better. And I personally thought the Homecoming was the best one. It comes in number 8. Number 7. This is where it gets painful because I know Dyllan and I'm pretty sure Matthew, I'm pretty sure Gavin had this movie very high on the list. Like I said, I have this movie 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5, 8 plus, Into the Spider-Verse.
There's no defense. There's no defense. There's no defense.
I
You do
just-
this every time.
I
Just so
ju-
you know.
I'm
You do
just
this every
saying.
time.
We need that wrestling match when we start dropping it.
Yeah, no, seriously.
I'm just saying, I like I said,
I'm gonna
it-
start
it-
making
it
a wrestling
happened-
mat drop.
Let
it.
me
Like,
make this clear. He put Spider-Verse below Spider-Man 3.
Yes.
John, there's no defense. I just want you to know that.
I put Spider-Man
You do
3 at
this like
15,
every
I put
time where you're
Spider-Verse
like,
at
listen,
7.
I fucking love the movie. However, shitty. Like, you do this every time.
Did he say Spider? Okay, so
No, I said Spider-Man 3 at
okay,
15.
Okay.
I didn't say Spider-Verse 3. What were you saying here? Okay.
I just must have always said, yeah.
No, it's all right. I like I said, every year when a new solo Spider-Man movie comes out, I said that's the best one. No, that's the best one. And then number 6, I thought Far From Home was the best one. Spider-Man Far From Home. That comes at number 6 over Spider-Verse. Like I said, each year when the new Spider-Man movie comes out, I'll say that's the best one, but then it changes. All right. Like I said, I find this very weird
I
that.
thought my list was going to be controversial.
Oh, no. Yours is probably going to be worse. Okay, when Dyllan told me that we had to include Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame, I was thinking, okay, fine. So number 5, Captain America: Civil War. He didn't appear a lot on screen, but
Dylan's trying not to strip you right
but
Great Spider-Man moments.
it
I
is
will
great
agree.
Spider-Man. Yeah,
Great Spider-Man
and
moments.
it was a fantastic debut for Spider-Man because I didn't think he was going to show up in the movie because I saw the trailer, was thinking it's misleading. Nope, he was in the movie. I was happy. Number 4, it was very close. I know you had this one at number 2. Mine was very darn close at number 4, but I do get it. It's the second best solo Spider-Man movie. Spider-Man: No Way Home. We already talked about how much we loved it. It's a phenomenal Spider-Man movie. Yes, I did put Infinity War at number 3 and
No.
Endgame
No.
at number 2.
No.
And look,
No.
it
No.
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 why?
No. Judging it based on Spider-Man moments? No. No. Immediately
based on
invalidated.
Well,
Spider-Man,
here's
Immediately invalidated.
Here-
You could have had it right right above Infinity War and Endgame, but you chose to have it below.
here's
No.
what happened.
No.
Here's what happened.
Nope.
I was not planning on including these movies on this list. When we were doing our original ranking, I thought it was going to be just movies that were like in the Spider-Man universe, and I was not, and I was not going to include Infinity War and Endgame. And I went back to my MCU rankings, and I had to go by the MCU rankings
No, you don't.
with the Spider-Man movie. Yes, I did. I have to do that.
Well, it's based on Spider-Man parts, so no, you should have changed your MCU ranking.
I'm standing by what I said. I
MCU rankings was based on the movies themselves, not the role that Spider-Man played.
Just like my top 20 movies of all time
right.
that we did for the first episode. So the DC ones are going to be out of order because they might be my top 20 movies of all time, but as far as DC movies go, they could be a different order.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but the fact that Spider-Man was in it, I stuck with what I thought it was the ranking that I actually put it. And keep in mind, we should have said this earlier. Our list is not the right list; it's just our different list.
Guys, like a fly
say-
going around the room
I'm
or
just saying.
something?
If
All I
our
gotta
list
say
was-
is-
if our
The
list,
wind's blowing a
if
little
our
hard
list
right
was
now.
the same, we would not be having this podcast right
True.
now.
Man,
True,
are
true.
those birds?
But I will say, that he is very much like showing us the truth behind that statement that our lists aren't the right ones.
It's true. It's true.
It could be a wrong opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a wrong opinion, but
But in terms of the best solo Spider-Man movie, like I said, I thought No Way Home was the best, but Across the Spider-Verse,
Yep.
easily number one.
Yep.
We said this before. I would argue masterpiece, one of the greatest animated comic book films of all time. So
I think it's the best in my opinion, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Across the Spider-Verse, I can't wait to see it a second time. I can't wait till it comes out on Blu-ray when it's in stock.
Right?
But yeah, I freaking love this movie, and I'm still blown away.
I'm guessing early September it's going to come on Blu-ray.
Yeah,
Somewhere around there.
Yeah,
maybe.
that probably would be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
All right. So leading to mine, I will say that I took it a little differently to where these are not. I didn't rank mine over how the movies were overall. So my enjoyment of the films didn't always come into the effect, which makes sense when I go into this list. So like some of these movies are going to be lower than some other ones that as a movie I think are different. So like I'll just get into it when I get into it.
okay.
But yeah, so I ranked mine off of how they are when it comes to Spider-Man stories.
Yeah.
And when it comes to that is, in my mind, the primary leading the main thing that's pushing Spider-Man himself is sacrifice. He is a very sacrifice hero. He shows that being a hero means sacrifice. That's the whole thing Uncle Ben focuses on. That's the whole thing that Aunt May focuses on in No Way Home is that, she dies, and that was a sacrifice he had to have. He's very heavy into being a hero means sacrificing a lot. And so, keeping that in mind, here's my list. 16 is Morbius.
yeah, good.
It's very obvious.
I'm not gonna be very upset.
I was gonna
obviously.
Obvious.
Just wait till one.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Number 15 is Venom 2.
Interesting.
It's a good movie. I actually really liked it.
Yeah.
But like I said, mine is more of a Spider-Man list, and since it doesn't have any part in it, I can't validate in my own list putting it above any actual Spider-Man movie.
True.
Which is why also number 14 is Venom, the first Venom, for the same reason. I think it was
That's
better than.
very funny that you
I was
had
gonna
to
say,
say
I think
that.
Venom is I think Venom is better than Venom 2, and like I said, I can't really validate putting Venom above any other Spider-Man movie purely because Spider-Man isn't. in it.
Understandable.
But Let There Be Carnage is a pretty awesome time.
It is. Yeah, it is. And like I said earlier, I loved Woody Harrison in it. I really enjoyed him being
Yeah,
in it.
but of course, the original Venom, he had his one
Right.
better in the sequel. There you go.
13 is going to be a little hot because it is a phenomenal movie, but 13 is Endgame.
Okay. Yeah, no,
Loved the
I'm fine with
movie.
that.
Loved the movie, and it did show it. Peter and Tony
That
was
is
a
painful.
great, the exchange they had after Peter came back, and then when Tony was on his deathbed was some of the best Spider-Man moments we've had for sure. But
He was only in the movie for a minute.
right, and it wasn't a Spider-Man story. He didn't show much. He as a character didn't even really show any improvement arc-wise.
And he didn't even show up till like 2 hours and 20 minutes in.
Right.
Yeah.
So I can't validate putting it above many other, if any other, Spider-Man movies because of that.
Yeah, at least you didn't do it based on
On
your
second
MCU
thought,
ranking.
Right.
on second thought, Infinity War, he did show up a lot more, and maybe I can switch.
Number 12 is
No,
Homecoming.
because you based it off your MCU ranking.
I know. Anyway, number 12.
Yeah, number 12 is Homecoming. I enjoyed the movie supremely, but as I will explain a little later as well, like I said earlier, a lot of Spider-Man in comics, in the movies we've talked about before, is very heavily focused on being a hero as a sacrifice. To be fair, it does kind of show up, and it is part of it to where he's missing out on school stuff, school events, and stuff like that. But he doesn't really giving up anything. There wasn't a whole lot of sacrifice going into being a hero for him. Oh man, I'm missing all my school events, but at the end of the movie, it's resolved and it's fine.
Right.
So it's not that big a deal. So that's why I put it a little lower. 11 is Civil War.
Okay.
Um,
Wow.
And hit after deserved hit for John.
I will say, a bit of it peeked out because it's one of my favorite MCU movies, so a bit of that kind of did leak into it, I won't lie. However, I think that he does go through a bit of an arc, a tiny one. He does mature a little bit and really kind of get into, and it does lead into Homecoming. So between the Spider-Man moments, and I think just the quips he has when fighting with Winter Soldier and Falcon.
Oh, cool,
like,
you have a metal arm.
right, like it's exactly stuff like that. Like I can't pass that up. It's too good. I really enjoy it. 10 is Infinity War. He does have a way bigger. Yeah, he does have he has a way bigger part in it, and he does go into, like you guys mentioned earlier, he does have that arc to where he starts out the very immature, like, oh hey, we're fighting bad guys now. Oh, we're doing this and that, to where he is anointed as an Avenger, and you can even see, like, Tom Holland does it perfectly when he's anointed as an Avenger. You can see his excitement, and then immediately die down to where, like, this is serious.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in space right now. Yeah, stuff like that. Those little touches really drive it home for me.
Yeah, his entire energy is, I fucked up.
Right. He's in over his head, but he's proven himself as a hero to Tony. Number 9 is Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
Rewatching, I do enjoy it. I enjoy it more than obviously the others that I've listed, and it does touch upon the sacrifice with Gwen.
Yeah.
And really, he really gets into that. That was my biggest gripe when it comes to Amazing Spider-Man 1, which, rewatching it over and over again, I think it's great. But my biggest gripe about it was that they built up to Captain Stacy's death, and they had him promise that he wouldn't involve Gwen. And then one of the last lines in the movie is him it's thrown in the trash.
Yeah.
They could have built it up a lot more in the second movie to be that sacrifice of him not having that love interest, but he's really drawn to have that love interest. But then it just gets kind of thrown away at the end of the last minute.
I can see that.
So that's why I have that one where it is. Number 8 is Spider-Man 3. It's actually a childhood favorite of mine overall as movies. I really enjoyed the movie.
No, it's understandable.
I really enjoyed the movie. I loved Sandman. I loved Sandman in it.
Wow.
I loved Sandman in it. I really did. It was really enjoyable. It was interesting to see them take the Spider-Man so far to him. He actually thought he killed Sandman in that when he pushed him through that grate in the water.
Yeah.
Like, he originally, like, it's in the movie, he thinks he killed him, which is kind of powerful to see how far the Venom symbiote really took him. Yeah, so overall, the sacrifice of his and Harry's relationship, and the drawstrings that Mary Jane puts on him, even though it was Kirsten Dunst, which... So anyway, that's Spider-Man 3. Number 7 is The Amazing Spider-Man. Like I said before, I really, really enjoyed it. It's a really good movie, and it touches upon how being a hero does have sacrifice to it, which, like I said, and that's the driving force in my list, is how much that really gets involved, is because that's, to me, that's the heart of Peter Parker.
Well, yeah, that's what Miguel said in Across the Spider-Verse.
Exactly.
Being Spider-Man is all
right.
about sacrifice.
You can't save everyone.
Is who you are.
Right. That is who Spider-Man is.
Yeah.
And so that's the driving force, and that, like, in this whole list, I think the Amazing Spider-Man 1 is the first one to really start driving home that point. Because, I mean, we see it with Uncle Ben dying, obviously. We also see with his relationship with Aunt May being really strained. With him forgetting the groceries, with him coming home beat up, and she's insanely worried about him, but he can't tell her. It's really played really well, and I love the exchanges he and Aunt May had in that movie. Number 6 is Far From Home.
There you go. There you go.
I actually really enjoy it, but the main reason why is because Mysterio is my favorite Spider-Man villain.
Okay, yeah.
He's my favorite of all of them. I love it. Was
Dylan has it 6. I had it 6.
Yeah, I have it
And
6
you
as
had
well.
it 6.
He's gonna have it at 13.
Right.
We don't know yet.
I doubt.
We don't know yet.
Doubt that.
Yeah, so Mysterio is my favorite villain. So, which is why I was actually so upset that they killed him off, which I know it's a big, huge thing. Did he die? Did he not die?
Yeah, I still think he's
Which
not dead.
I won't get into that because I honestly haven't arrived at a full theory yet.
Yeah.
But the fact that they did play around with the idea that he's dead now, I don't enjoy because I don't want him to be a one-off. He's way too intriguing of a villain to do a one-off.
Well, and Jake Gyllenhaal just brought such an energy to the character.
Absolutely, he
Yeah,
did it
yeah.
beautifully.
I love another
That
shot from
switch
him.
from him being the serious hero and then them celebrating at the fake bar that they had or whatever
Yeah.
when he got it was so well done. That was Mysterio.
That easy.
Exactly, it was so well done. Like he did such a good job as Mysterio.
He did.
Number 5 is Spider-Man 1.
Okay.
I mean, there's
I
not much.
respect that.
I would say not much to be said about it that hasn't already been said. It's a classic. It was really the starter comic book hero movie. It kind of led us to what we have now, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
And I mean, especially because it came out right after 9/11, so which is why you have the him swinging over the American flag in the very end.
Yeah.
It's all about New York coming together to help out Spider-Man.
Absolutely.
And it's a constant battle of him being Spider-Man, having relationship with Mary Jane, to the point to where he's choosing to save Mary Jane, the love of his life, or a bus full of kids.
And the upside down kiss is also very
Which is, it's
iconic.
iconic.
Yeah.
Right, it's iconic.
And I was just thinking, if my girlfriend could kiss me upside down, I would too.
Yeah, nerds everywhere were squirming in their seats.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sure.
absolutely.
Came
Yeah,
out.
yeah, okay. 4 is Spider-Verse 1.
Okay.
It's on paper it looks weird that it's ranked lower, but at the same time, when if you've been paying attention, my top 3 it makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Phenomenal movie, ages like fine wine. It's just amazing.
It is.
Number 3 is No Way Home. It's an amazing Spider-Man movie.
It is.
The sacrifice is driven home with Aunt May.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. I think, in my opinion, especially when it comes to the sacrifice point, No Way Home is really where Spider-Man in the MCU became Spider-Man. Contract-wise, and just in general, I don't think that Homecoming and Far From Home are true Spider-Man movies.
Okay.
When it comes to message, when it comes to the thematic arc that he has, it's not true Spider-Man to me. So No Way Home is where that really becomes a Spider-Man movie, and he really that's how he paid his dues, and he really, in my mind, became Spider-Man at that point.
Understandable. All right.
Second is Spider-Man 2, purely because that movie is the number 1 movie that shows that a hero is suffering. To be a hero, you sacrifice everything, because he has an incredible strain on his relationship with Mary Jane in the entire movie.
Yeah.
He befriends Doc Ock, and then we know what happens to him. He starts going insane because of his arms, and then he eventually sacrifices himself.
Yeah.
The strain between him and Harry starts in that movie.
Yeah.
Because of Harry's dichotomy, because of Spider-Man, in his mind, killing his father.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he gives up being Spider-Man because, I mean, the first 20 minutes of that movie, 30 minutes of that movie are just hit after hit after hit after hit after hit. To where literally he gives up being Spider-Man because of the mental block that he's trying to live 2 different, or the web block, yeah.
Block.
The one scene that's actually adorable is when he saved the kids from being hit by a semi-truck, and he saved the kids, and he said, "Hey guys, no riding in the street," and the kid said, "Yes, Mr. Spider-Man."
Right.
It's adorable.
Yeah,
I
he
love
starts off on this high of being Spider-Man, and then it's just reality smacks him in the face, and he's like, I can't do this anymore. It's such a sacrifice.
that. That's true.
And then at the end of it, even at the end, when it starts, instead of ending on him swinging in the background like it did in the first one, we even zoom into a more somber face of Mary Jane, because she's recognizing the sacrifice of being in a relationship with Spider-Man, to where it ends on that note of it's really just a sacrifice to be a hero, and that at the heart of being Spider-Man, that I have to put that at number 2.
Well, we know what the OG number 1
And
is.
number 1 is Across the Spider-Verse.
So far, it's been unanimous
3
on
out
this
of
one.
4. Not gonna be 4 out of 4. I'm guessing.
Oh, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, crap.
But to be fair, John had some rotten apples on his. So.
Yeah.
Oh, no. His is going to be worse. I know.
I don't know. We'll see. Yeah.
I'm gonna rush through because we're at 2 hours and 22 minutes.
Listen, this was absolutely going to be a long episode. No
Yeah,
matter
it's a
fucking what.
It's a
Yeah.
Spider-Man special.
The next Spider-Verse movie it's going to be even longer.
Probably so.
Sorry.
So, like I said, I haven't seen Let There Be Carnage yet, so it's not on my list.
Okay.
Understandable.
Okay.
Homecoming is 15.
Whoa.
Expecting that.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me preface, there's not a bad Spider-Man movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just...
Oh, yes, there's one of them that's bad.
It's just
No.
my least favorite.
No.
It's not a bad movie.
No,
It's my least
Morbius is worse. Morbius is far worse
but
than
it's not a
Homecoming.
Spider-Man movie.
It's
I
not a
enjoyed
Spider-Man
Morbius
movie.
for what it was. Morbius is 14, so...
You're
I
wrong.
mean,
you are
that's
so
fine.
wrong. I'm gonna
So
fight you for
still
that.
As long as it's not,
that's above
I was say,
Homecoming,
yeah, I was gonna say, as long as it
Homecoming is
was,
a better movie than Morbius. Period.
Yeah, I agree with that. So it's a not choice, but
13 is Venom.
yeah,
Okay.
I can see
12
that.
is Endgame.
oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I like seeing John in pain. So yeah,
I know you do.
So I just-
As much as you love me, I know.
yeah.
So I kind of edited a little bit while Gavin was talking because based on like what you said about and what Dylan said too about the Spider-Man aspect of the story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Not just overall what I think of the movie.
right.
Yeah,
Based
John.
on the Spider-Man aspect.
Whoa, excuse me.
So Civil War is number 11.
Okay.
Yep.
Far From Home is number 10.
Okay.
Well, at
Okay,
least you
okay.
said you liked it better than Homecoming.
I'm not that big of a Tom Holland fan. I mean, I like him, but
And that's understand. I can see that.
Yeah, it's respectable.
Yeah.
Number 9 is Infinity War.
Okay.
Number 8 is Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
Mhm.
7 is Spider-Man 3.
I
Alright.
whoa.
Yeah,
what?
I can see that. I can see
Better than
that.
Homecoming?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Better than
honestly,
Far From Home?
honestly, yeah. I can understand it. It's understandable.
Raimi movies are certified classics.
Yeah.
They are. I agree
Every
with that.
single one.
Sandman, Venom, the symbiote, all of it. I can understand it.
The only thing I don't.
By the way,
see
people, there's a fit person. She's seeing my shocking face right now.
Right, like
She knows how I feel.
and I can, and again, in knowing what we know about that emo Peter, to where like the strain that he had in making the movie and
Right.
the time constraint, it's a lot more understandable even now. Yeah.
6 is Amazing Spider-Man. That's
wow.
super good movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow,
Yeah.
it is a super good movie,
100%.
but
Yeah.
It's
no,
one of the few movies
Yeah.
I've seen in 3D.
not better than the Tom
Nice.
Holland movies.
The part still cracks me up at the end, where he tells Venom to leave, and he's like, "You mother Hubbard." 5 is Spider-Man.
Okay.
Green Goblin really elevated that movie.
Dude, Willem
Absolutely.
Dafoe.
Yes.
Willem Dafoe should
Type-
have gotten an Oscar.
Absolutely.
yeah.
And he showed it in No Way
Yeah, that's what I
Home.
was gonna
Yeah.
say. For No Way Home, he should have got Best Supporting Actor.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we gotta
Again.
and we got to give James Franco a shout out. A fantastic casting choice as
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
Peter's best friend Harry.
Yeah. And I was like, just again, we come back to it time and time. He's one of those. He is
It's perfect
Green
casting.
Goblin.
Yeah.
It's the perfect
It's awesome.
casting. I don't think anybody could do as good of a job as he did.
Yeah.
Top 4, you guys figured
Yeah.
would be what they are.
Yep.
Just not in the right order.
Yeah.
No Way Home is number 4.
I can respect it.
Mm.
I mean, but
I do
yeah,
respect
I can
it. It made
respect
it
it.
Top 4.
Between the two
That's fine.
Spider
And it's
Verses
funny
and
that
then
Matthew and I had this one.
I would say between the two
That's
Spider
actually
Verses
funny.
and Spider Man 2. I mean, yeah.
If we were putting based on my solo Spider-Man movies, it would be number 2 on my list.
What was I saying? The rooftop scene just gets
Yep.
me every time.
Yes.
Obviously, I love Scooby-Doo, so one of my favorite lines is, Scooby-Doo this crap.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
3 is Into the Spider-Verse.
Hey, I love the movie. Okay, don't criticize me, please.
No, I'm cringing because I know it's this is gonna be Across the Spider-Verse is number 2.
Oh no!
Wow.
I need to watch it more to see how consistently good.
Okay, I was gonna say, and I can,
That's all
and
I
I can
You
definitely
just
understand.
broke Dylan's
Spider-Man
heart.
2 is it's almost impossible to
Expecting it
dethrone.
is the thing. I was expecting it.
Like I said, Spider-Man 2 is the most Spider-Man movie in
Yeah.
my opinion of all of
I
them.
need to rewatch Across the Spider-Verse. I don't want to just shoot it up to number 1 because I might not like it as much the second, third, fourth.
I can see that. I can see that. I can respect it at least.
Spider-Man 2 number 1.
Yeah.
I mean,
Honestly, I've seen Across the Spider-Verse twice, so I'm 100% solid.
You know,
with my-
Dylan, your list is looking good right now.
Listen, I can respect it. I
right.
can respect it because while I don't agree that Spider-Man 2 is over No Way Home, like I said earlier, Spider-Man 2 was the best Spider-Man movie for years.
Yeah,
it was the best
absolutely.
superhero movie up till that point.
Yeah,
So I can respect it. I definitely don't agree with it. But
right.
I can
I will
respect
expect
it. At least Across
either.
Spider-Verse was number 2.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I will expect either if I'm back again or if I'm just listening to episodes as they come out, I will expect at some point you'll be like, oh, by the way, I rewatched Across the Spider-Verse a couple times. It's my top number one now.
Yeah.
Like, I 100% expect it.
I mean,
it's
people are going to say it's biased to put the new one at number one, but it's just so good. I couldn't put any
it's
lower than number
killer.
one.
Anybody
I
that
couldn't
watches
do
the
it.
movie
It was
100%
that
will understand.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's borderline criminal.
Number 2, the reason why it's number 1 is I've loved it for years.
Yep.
So it's still just, I've watched it so many times and I still enjoy it.
Yeah.
And because I like to think with movies, all the biblical aspects of the movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Well, and Alfred Molina.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Incredible Dr. Octopus.
Yeah, and I mean the shot compositions in those movies, like when they have the scene start out with it's him swinging through the city, and then it zooms out from his glasses, like those kind of it's incredible. And the fact that his fight with Doc Ock, they talked about it in the behind the scenes, I believe. It was one of the things that they talked about, where that fight has 3 acts.
Yeah.
And it evolves much like a mini movie, and it's really cool to watch.
Right.
But that's pretty much it for this one.
Before we do the outro, I would like to give everybody the updated Sprite Bank rankings. Matthew is currently at 80.
I'm guessing I'm in last place.
No, you're not. You're not in last place. You're not in last place.
Wait, you're in last place?
No.
No, I am. I've got a solid 1.
Fair because he's because
No. It's fair.
first
He's in the
episode
bank.
and
It's
it's a
fair.
rookie. So
Oh, trust me, I'll shoot up soon. Don't you worry.
Next episode he's on. He's gonna rapid fire.
Oh, I'm gonna be
He's gonna have
coming.
a little black book, and he's
Exactly.
gonna be like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I'm gonna be-
And he's gonna go.
I'm gonna come in swinging.
but anyway,
Matt-
Number 2. Coming swinging.
All right.
but anyway,
Okay.
Matthew first.
So Matthew at 83, Paul by a close 37. no, sorry. There's a difference of 37. He's currently at 46. Somehow I'm at 13. I did
Bias.
I did that as
Bias.
No, like I give it to myself. This one was fucking bullshit. I did it accidentally on the MCU episode.
Yeah.
Like I'm getting myself. I'm holding myself fucking accountable.
You're always hitting yourself with that amazing one.
84.
And I'm guessing I'm in third. And
How many do you think you have, John?
Huh?
How many do you think you have?
7?
Nope.
8?
Nope.
9?
Yep.
Well,
You're a 9. You know how you said that you weren't going to get a single one?
well,
And then you did.
Dylan,
So I figured-
just be honest, you prefer my puns over Matthew's.
No.
That was so matter of fact. There was no delay.
Son of a gun!
No, dude, Paul and Matthew both have you beat. Like, it's hands
There's
down,
no
like, no
competition,
contest. Yeah. It's the two of them beefing, and then you just got whatever you got going on.
Well, you know, let me tell you, Josh's puns is worse. I'm
I
just
believe it.
saying.
I believe it.
But anyway,
After his opinion, I believe it.
Gavin comes in last place.
Gavin comes in at
unfortunately.
number 2.
Yep.
But when speaking of Gavin, thank you for being part of the podcast, buddy.
Absolutely. I'm.
Please come back anytime to join us for another episode.
I'd love to.
have you.
Absolutely.
Do
You want to join?
Yeah. I mean,
do you want to give everybody a sneak preview of what's going to come out next week?
We'll be doing our Transformers rankings and reviews.
Yeah. Right.
Well, I will not have time to watch any of the Transformers movies, so and I'm gonna skip out on this.
you should
one.
make a list anyway, just to see how it ends
but-
up.
but-
Set it in. Then we'll read it. We'll read it off and we'll roast you.
I
Roast of John.
But
you
I
could.
will rewatch Bumblebee, which I did love. Bumblebee is great.
Okay.
I mean, like the way that his Spider-Man list was put together. I mean, you might as well have done the same thing.
That'll be hilarious.
Bases it off of his MCU ranking.
But anyway, Transformers: Rise of the Beast, which I'm constantly excited for it. We'll see how it goes from there. It probably will not be better than Across the Spider-Verse. That I can guarantee. It'll definitely will be a good time. So yeah, for that. And
After that, we got Flash.
Yes,
Oh, God.
I'm excited.
in less than 2 weeks, we
I'll
got
be here for
Flash.
85. 85.
Yeah.
You're almost
For me,
ahead
that's
by
the best
40.
pun, actually. That was the best pun.
All right.
But anyway,
Gavin, do you want to lead us out?
Yeah.
Special guest?
Yeah. So thanks for watching. Remember to rate, subscribe, do all the things. Download, like us on Twitter. Obviously, we're trying to get to that special number, and we'll be able to give away Avatar. Which,
Special number being 69.
yeah, exactly. It's a funny number. Well, if we hit that, I mean, it's a funny number, you know. But I mean, we're just casually giving away a Blu-ray of one of the best movies ever made.
Yeah.
Which there's no
can we
contest
say real
about.
quickly, Dylan, you want to tell us who you're having right beside you to actually join us for a little bit?
No.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah.
Listener, I'll say that.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
So yeah, thanks for downloading and watching, and make sure you share. Sharing goes a long way. The more we
That's right.
share, not only when you share does it go to obviously the person that you shared, but the more shares we have, again, it pumps those numbers for the algorithm, and we get pushed out even further because we're being shared. So
I
that will
apologize for asking,
100%.
by the way.
Yeah. So download, add us on Apple, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, on just about anything you can think of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
thank you so much for downloading our episodes. We truly appreciate that. So, God bless you. Have a great week, and we'll see you all next time for more fun and more bad and more bad puns for Matthew, probably.
Where Matthew gets up to 100 in the spring. Gotta cash them all in all at once.
It's going to be here before Flash. The Flash episode's going to throw it over the edge.
I believe it.
But anyway, thanks for listening, everybody, and have a great week.
See ya.
Next week.